Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I hope you're well. I hope you're chilling. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. Today is July 17th, 2023, and we have a really good show for you guys. Let's see. So, we're going to go over weekly recap stuff. We're going to do another edition of community feedback, which, if you don't know what that is, that's fine. We'll get into it, and then we'll get into some reactions and reviews. But like I said, I hope you're well. I hope you're chilling. Happy Monday. So, man, it's definitely it's definitely heating up on the East Coast, that's for sure. It's relatively warm for the middle of July, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, it's not that bad. I would just say the humidity is like really what's insane. But yeah, we're chilling. We're chilling. So let's hop right into this. So, weekly recap stuff. Music Mondays episode 129 is available on all platforms, including our YouTube channel and all audio platforms. So, if you take us on the go on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, we are there. So, huge shout out to all you guys that are swinging through and showing some love to all of our platforms, to be honest with you. But episode 129 is available everywhere. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted, came through, showed love, viewed, watched, liked, clicked, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for showing love to episode 129. So, that takes us to a brand new YouTube upload, which is relatively important, because as we all know, Threads recently dropped, which is the pretty much text-based alternative for Instagram, similar to Twitter, but not really. Relatively similar. But we actually broke Threads down with some positives and negatives last week on episode 129, and that segment is available on our channel. So definitely go check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to the Music Mondays channel, make sure you go do so. We are literally 3 subs away from 190. Only 3. So huge shout out to everybody that's already subbed, and if you're not, consider doing so. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday, my friends. But yeah, Threads upload is available right now. Really good conversation, if I'm being honest with you. That's definitely one where I felt like enough time passed, because we had an upload the week prior where we had discussed social media in 2023, but Threads hadn't launched yet. So last week we discussed Threads, and if you missed that, definitely go check that out, because we definitely hit on some really important topics, and I can imagine I'll be revisiting that topic relatively soon, definitely within the coming weeks. That's a fact. So, a brand new article is live right now on musicmondays.com by Lord Heretic. Heretic came through with a review for an artist by the name of Ghazi. Ghazi is based out of Arizona. And Heretic's reviews and really reactions to tracks just get straight to the point. And again, I think that's something we've discussed here on the show relatively often, right? Where music journalism kind of got watered down, became a bunch of word soup articles and whatnot. And Heretic's definitely one of those writers that really just gets straight to the point and tells you what you'd want to know as a reader and as a listener and somebody who's interested in a brand new artist. So definitely go check out Heretic's brand new review for Ghazi's track Eternal Rest. Definitely go check that out. And huge shout out to Heretic and Ghazi. Conbini also dropped another Music Mondays freestyle design. This one is actually one of my favorites that Conbini has done. And if you don't know, we drop monthly or sometimes weekly freestyle designs from the Music Mondays staff design team that they'll usually cook up. Doesn't necessarily need to be Music Mondays related or anything like that, but I always want to really give our design team some spotlight outside of what they do for the platform already. So definitely go show Conbini some love and check out the majority of our freestyle designs. Actually just thought of a really crazy idea. If we put up an art gallery on the website, that'd be really sick. That's definitely something I want to look into, but definitely go show Conbini some love and check out our freestyle designs. SoundCloud Sunday, volume 91 is available right now on SoundCloud. That was curated by myself and Deep Rest. That's actually another kind of rare SoundCloud Sunday, to be honest with you. Every once in a while, there'll be these like off weeks where like almost nobody's dropping just because like not everybody drops like every single week. That's not really a shocker, but this one's definitely one that made us go outside the box. So definitely huge shout out to everybody that showed SoundCloud Sunday Volume 91 some love, and definitely go show Depressed and every artist featured on there some love. And of course, huge shout out to all you guys that continuously submit to SoundCloud Sunday, man. SoundCloud Sunday is one of our best playlists and one of our most important playlists, just because we really try to keep the SoundCloud scene alive, and you know, more importantly, the underground scene. Doesn't really have anything to do with SoundCloud. SoundCloud's just the go-to platform for newer artists and artists that want to upload free music. So definitely go check out SoundCloud Sunday. And again, I encourage you to share SoundCloud Sunday with your friends, right? It's not just for artists, it's not just for artist mutuals and things like that, but definitely go share SoundCloud Sunday with people that are interested in finding new music. Maybe people are like, bro, I need a playlist. I don't know what to play, blah, 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 blah. We literally have 91 different volumes of SoundCloud Sunday. So there's bound to be a playlist out there where somebody like enjoys the majority of it. So definitely go check out SoundCloud Sunday and put your friends on, man. That's very important. Very, very important. So SoundCloud Sunday Volume 91 is available right now. And that takes us to Sunday night. So last night we dropped a brand new SoundCloud exclusive on the Music Monday SoundCloud. That is by Zim, produced by Johnny Farias. Now, Zim and Johnny Farias are two artists that we've featured here on the show multiple times, to be honest with you. And huge shout out to Blank Thought for curating this SoundCloud exclusive. So this track is actually off of Zim's debut album, Memoirs. So definitely go check out Zim, and definitely go check out the brand new SoundCloud exclusive that we just hosted last night. Definitely one of our best, to be honest with you. One of our best in a while, that's for sure. So huge shout out to Zim and Blank Thought for curating that as well. So that takes us all the way to Monday. Here we are, July 17th, 2023. So, couple things. Upcoming stuff that's happening for Music Mondays. Really important stuff in case you missed it monthly. The May edition will be live this week, again with graphics by Aster. Huge shout out to Aster for really coming through on those and starting to get back in the swing of things. So definitely expect In Case You Missed It monthly as well. And of course, if you don't know what In Case You Missed It monthly is, definitely go check out allmusicmondays.com. We've been doing In Case You Missed It monthly since like November or October of 2022. So essentially it's our written segment, but it's also a media segment as well. You can find them pretty much all over our socials. You can find them on the Music Mondays website. And that's really our biggest written piece for a couple of reasons, but mostly it's a monthly recap of all the drops you might have missed. Because again, the majority of you guys know that, media and the internet, music moves super, super fast. So sometimes drops get overlooked, or some people just don't even know about them, or things like that. So In Case You Missed It monthly is definitely your piece if you're interested in a lot of the major drops that happen throughout the month. And we try to cover a majority of different things, but I usually just let the writers go crazy and really let them curate their list as far as what they think really deserves to be on those articles. So if you're ever interested in getting involved with In Case You Missed It monthlies or anything like that, you want to submit some work, definitely contact our writers, or feel free to send us a DM or anything like that as well. So yeah, expect the May edition this week for sure. Behind the Merch, Feature Friday, and Workshop Wednesday. So those are 3 YouTube segments that we do every month, and those are 3 that I have pretty much scheduled now, but we're ironing out a couple other details as far as how we're gonna maneuver these, but expect those 3 series to be continued. And Feature Friday is one that I think is really, really important, but Workshop Wednesday, that one definitely needs to be updated a bit. And then Behind the Merch episode 2, I'm really interested in really pushing that kind of content on our channel, so expect a whole lot of interesting stuff for the Music Mondays YouTube channel, again with our regular monthly content on the channel, as well as a couple of new things that I really wanted to do with the staff and the team. So keep your eyes peeled, and of course you'll be the first to know. So make sure you follow us on socials at All Music Mondays. So again, a couple of really, really important things coming up. Our monthly content will stay the same. Expect a brand new staff design showcase and a brand new volume of Underground Classics as well. Our Twitch layout is also in the works as well. So definitely expect a brand new Twitch layout as far as the show goes as well. So in the coming weeks, this might be the last few times that we have this kind of really like bare bones kind of layout. But then again, you know, I still kind of want to keep it super basic. Like, I don't want to go super crazy for a Twitch layout because I feel like it takes away from a lot of the immersion, to be honest with you, right? Because, you know, sometimes with layouts, your screen has to be much smaller, and then you have to fit on the Twitch chat and all sorts of notifications and whatnot. So sometimes a more bare bones layout does work out better. But we're definitely going to try it and see how it looks on the channel, and really see how that's going to roll out. So expect that as well. We just got done recruiting a brand new Music Money staff member as well, so expect their roster announcement this week. This week is actually a really, really busy week for Music Mondays, I'm not going to lie. We have some stuff to finalize for the rest of July, and then August through September we'll be making some Cyberfest 2 announcements, and we'll be reaching out to a couple of artists to kind of really iron out the lineup relatively early on. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that information as well. A couple of things to really figure out there with the team. But again, you guys will be the first to know. So that's that on that, as far as like immediate content and things that are coming up for Music Mondays. But again, make sure you follow us on socials, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, we're over there. So definitely go check us out for the latest Music Mondays updates. So two other things, just really quick. So Music Mondays is also recruiting as well. I mentioned that we just picked up a brand new staff member. But we also are still recruiting. So we are looking for writers, journalists, editors, really any kind of graphic designers, but, you know, more so on the simple scale as well. You don't have to be super, super crazy with art. So writers, journalists, designers, short form and long form content creators, anybody that wants to do YouTube or kind of wants to dive into YouTube shorts or maybe TikToks and things like that. Curators as well will be looking for people to help out with playlists. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely send us a DM or email with your resume or your pitch. And again, we are very early in monetization, so everything that Music Mondays currently makes goes right back into the platform. You know, because we take a very different route for what we do. We don't charge for any playlist submissions. We don't charge for articles. We don't charge for podcast submissions. You know what I mean? Our funding and monetization is very honest. You know what I mean? Pretty much all the media that you see is what we have. So our Patreon, our Twitch, our YouTube channel. You can subscribe on Spotify for the podcast as well. So those are the ways that we really have a lot of our funding. And of course, those will be changed and expanded, but the majority in all of our submissions will stay free forever. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the staff works very hard to upkeep everything that we do. So again, huge shout out to the Music Monday staff. And huge shout out to the community as well, right? Because we wouldn't be here without you guys. So yeah, you guys know the drill, but we are recruiting. So definitely tell your friends, or maybe if you're interested, send us a message or an email. Music Mondays exclusives. So last thing, Music Mondays is on the hunt for more exclusives. We are looking to host exclusive unreleased SoundCloud tracks. We're only interested in the SoundCloud version, so feel free to do whatever else with your track if you're interested in getting hosted on Music Mondays. And again, that's also free. We are never going to charge for that. We're just looking to build up our archive and our SoundCloud library. And of course, music videos are open as well. So if you're interested in getting anything hosted on our channel of almost 200 subscribers, definitely reach out to us for that. We're open to visuals, lyric videos, things like that. So yeah, of course, it has to be unreleased, exclusive, things like that. And then you can do whatever you want with the rest of your track, right? If you want to put it on stores, that's fine. If you don't want to put it on stores, that's cool. As long as we get to host the SoundCloud or YouTube version, that's fine with us. So yeah, we're on the hunt for exclusives. Tell your friends, or again, if you're interested, definitely reach out to us and say, "Yo, we got someone released that we'd like you guys to promote." Because of course, we fully promote it across all of our social medias as well: TikToks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, the whole nine. So definitely let us know if that's something you're interested in. So that's about it for weekly recap stuff. I don't think there's anything super major that I missed. But you guys will hear from us throughout the week as well, as far as what we have going on. But one other thing I wanted to quickly touch on before we hop into some reactions and reviews. I was gonna go into a discussion segment tonight, but I had a couple of relatively big ones planned that I need to really take some notes for. So what I think we will do is this week, we're gonna turn to the community, and I think you guys remember. I think it's probably like a month or two ago. We reached out to the community and we asked everybody, what you would like to see us discuss on the Music Mondays podcast. We pretty much covered a lot of the big ones that the community suggested on Twitter and whatnot, but I think enough time has passed as to where we would like to hear you guys' suggestions again, right? So definitely let us know what you'd like to see myself or the Music Monday staff team talk about on the channel or even on the podcast. And of course, I'll only speak to my knowledge and to what I know. I'm not gonna go fucking rogue and talk about shit that I have no idea about. Or maybe if I don't have an idea of what you'd like to see us talk about, we could bring somebody on that does. You know what I'm saying? So, we're pretty open to what we've discussed, and of course, feel free to go check out our YouTube channel. Because again, we upload 2 times a week, so we have a real shit ton of stuff over there that we've covered: underground tips and tricks, exclusive segments, rants, all sorts of like really, really good stuffs over there. So if you're interested in seeing, what we've already discussed, feel free to go check out the channel as well. But we definitely want the community's feedback. So let us know in the comments on YouTube, or let us know on the DMs or on Twitter, what you'd like to see us discuss here on the show. Again, I have a couple topics on the back burner. And we already touched on a couple topics that the community suggested as well. So again, I think it's time that we really curate some more suggestions from the community, and things that you'd like to see us talk about. Anything that's super complex, or anything that's really, really fucking simple. It doesn't really matter. Anything from promotion specifics, cover arts, how-tos, quick guides, opinions on this person, opinions on this situation, depending on what it is, we're pretty open to it. You know what I mean? So definitely let us know in the comments, or on Twitter, what you'd like to see us talk about here on the Music Mondays podcast. Or even if it's actually good enough, shit, we might make a whole YouTube kind of segment out of it. So let us know. Definitely let us know what you'd like to see. And of course, make sure you drop a comment and drop a like and subscribe if you have not already, my friends. So yeah, that's about it, my friends. Couple of talking points there. Next week, I think we'll dive into one of the subject that I already had planned, and then by that time, we'll already have curated some community opinions and things like that, and kind of what everybody wanted us to go into, So, you guys know what the fuck time it is. Let's get into it. So, let's switch screens really quick. And we'll see what's going down. So, you guys know the drill, but if you don't and you're new here, you're like, what the fuck? How do I submit? Why do you take submissions on Twitter? Blah, 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 blah. This is going to be the answer to all of your questions. Andrew, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in, my friend. And huge shout out to everybody that's tuning in and showing love. I actually haven't even tweeted the stream out yet. But. So, this is pretty much the lowdown. So tweets are in the same format every week. And again, before I start going in on the format, again, we were kind of anticipating on curating on Threads for a bit, but with the lack of a desktop version and the lack of a couple of other features, it's really difficult for us to kind of move over to Threads completely. So that was a bit of a downer for us, but we do have a couple plans for Threads, as far as new pieces and new ways to promote underground artists. So just give us some time. I'm working out some new formats, just some Threads exclusive kind of posts, until they really start to update their platform and whatnot. So just sit tight. But for now, again, we'll still be curating through Twitter, just because it's the easiest place to, again, curate a bunch of submissions, right? Um, because we're certainly not doing it on Instagram. We certainly can't do it on fucking Reddit because nobody's going on there. Um, Nobody uses Facebook, and there are no like real alternatives as far as like mainstream kind of platforms. So this is our best bet right now to make it really easy for everybody. So that's that on that. But again, tweets will always be in the same format. Artists and creatives submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays live on 7/17/23, twitch.tv/Zom plays 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is here and now. If you're watching on YouTube, submissions are already open for next week's show, so definitely go check out our socials and find the appropriate tweet. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links to portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So again, contrary to our name, Music Mondays, we've reacted to everything from vocals, instrumentals, freestyles, YouTube edits, merch designs, fashion, photos, literally you name it, we've reacted to it over the course of 130 episodes. So feel free to drop any sort of links, right? We'll be happy to take a look at your cover portfolio, your YouTube portfolio, music videos, things like that. So never shy away. And if you feel like you deserve a little bit of spotlight on Music Mondays, feel free to submit your links. You know what I mean? And 4 hour show limit, again, we are a weekly show. So the reason why the 4 hour show limit was put in place was because, the main reason was the people that watch the show back already kind of skim through the show. So the longer we kind of made the show, the harder it was for anybody to kind of sit through it. So even 4 hours is pretty tough to swallow. I mean, that's longer than the fucking Titanic. So, I mean, there was like an argument there to be made of switching to like a 3 hour show, but I didn't want to do that to the community just because of how many submissions I knew we did get. And I really wanted to keep the show as consistent as we've been, right? So I figured 4 hours was the appropriate kind of limit to at least make the show palatable, right? So that was one reason. And again, we are a weekly show, so this puts a little bit less pressure on the staff to kind of get a, 6, 7, 8, 9 hour stream in every single Monday. You know what I mean? So again, that kind of takes a little bit of pressure off there as well. So that's why the 4 hour show limit is in place. And of course, the only thing that we do ask, since submissions are free for pretty much everything that we do, the only thing that we do ask is that you follow Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Again, it not only helps grow our community and spread our message, but it just pays respect to everybody else that also supports Music Mondays and also waits for their tracks and submissions to be reacted to every week. So it's just really a respect thing, and it just helps spread our platform as well. So that's the only thing that we do ask, since we don't and won't ever charge for submissions. And that's about it, my friends. So, the only other thing that you really do need to know is that Patreon subscribers' submissions get played first every week. Because, of course, with the 4 hour show limit, not everybody's submissions can be played every week. Of course, if we have a decent amount, we might be able to squeeze everybody's submissions in. But there'll be some weeks where we just, hit the 4 hour show limit and we'll have 5, 10 submissions left. And that's just how it happens. But if you're interested in getting your submissions played at the top of the show, and getting your submissions played first before the rest of the community, definitely go check out our Patreon, where if you subscribe to any of our tiers, even the lowest tier has this perk. But it's known as the Music Mondays Fast Pass. So essentially, on a month-to-month basis, as long as you're subscribed to our Patreon, you'll have access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass, where all of your submissions will be played first for that whole month. You know what I mean? So that's just one perk, though. We have a whole lot of stuff that we offer over there on the Music Mondays Patreon. So definitely go check out our Patreon. A huge shout out to our 6 Patreon members right now as well. You guys are amazing. We love you, and we have so much planned for you guys. So thank you for supporting. But other than that, submissions close about half hour to an hour before the show starts, just to really get a head count. And again, we are a live show. This is not pre-recorded, so really to make it easier on everybody, we do close submissions just so nobody tries to cut the line. Yo, let me get a submission in, and it just keeps the show pretty free flow. So you have just about a week to submit your tracks, right? So I say a week, but it's like 6.5 days. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind, and feel free to submit your tracks at any point. You know what I mean? 7 days is actually a pretty decent window, so feel free. So that's about it, my friends. I believe we can hop right into our submissions for the week. So let's see how many Patreons we have, and then we'll hop into our community members. So Absono is back. What's good, Absono? Intro, what's good? Bloodcat is back. Let's fucking get it, baby. So TDG is a Patreon. SLM is Patreon. King Mark as well. And I think that's it. Yeah. We have 3 Patreons tonight, so we'll go through these 3 first, and then we'll hop right into the rest of our community submissions. So, yeah, we didn't miss anybody, so we're good there. Okay, so our first Patreon of the night, TDG, aka Till the Grave. So TDG has been going crazy on their latest project, a very talented alternative hip hop vocalist and producer. We've gotten unreleased tracks here or there, but this week they submitted a instrumental titled "How Can We Survive." Art by Cole Gerard. Okay, we got some Cole art. Okay, 21, can you hop on this beat for me? 21 Savage. Okay, let's see if we hear 21 Savage on this. I'm very curious now. I'm very, very curious now for sure. 6 hours ago, so relatively new. This just got published. Brought by me, art by Cole Gerard. Look at Cole coming through the slight edit. See, I talk about this almost every week just because these IRL covers always do any song justice. You know what I mean? Just a slight edit on them always just kind of hits. It's always just such a safe bet if you didn't want to go like super crazy on your covers or whatnot. So I like this art a lot for sure. But let's get into it. TDG, how can we survive? Uh that laugh is crazy. I like that outro a lot for sure. So stream is tweeted out. So a couple things about this. All in all, I like the flow of this a lot. I feel like again, this is one of more of TDG's more like well constructive, like just kind of instrumentals. Something about this is like very consistent, and I like it from TDG a lot. Um, so let's break this down. So obviously no vocals. We're gonna talk about two things: talk about the instrumental, and we're talk about the overall theme of How Can We Survive. So let's talk mix. Mix is solid. Nothing clashing to overbearing, especially with the vocal sample in there. I felt like that kind of had its own space. Um, the drums were really well selected. I like the sound selection a lot. They were nice and bouncy. Everything cut through nicely. Yeah, no gripes with the mix whatsoever. I definitely think this is a really solid mix when it comes to the instrumental itself. Um, Shining Star. So there's a couple of things I really like about this. I feel like the most obvious one is the use of the vocal sample. I definitely think the vocal sample was like main attraction here for sure. Pretty well utilized because you could have fucking you could have just overused this and it would have sounded weird as fuck. But I think TDG did the vocal sample pretty much justice. Again, drum selection is really solid. I like the 808 choice a lot. I like the way the drums are mixed in particular. Melody is kind of a underrated thing here. I definitely feel like the melody brings a very like dark trap kind of vibe. Um, Almost like a very like it's just dark. I wouldn't say like haunting or like horror kind of aesthetic, but it's definitely dark. That's for sure. Um, so oh structure. Structure is also like a really big one here that I feel like you could kind of neglect or just kind of gloss over. But structure is also really solid here. I definitely like how TDG gave this beat space, right? There's a lot of fucking space here. And I think that's something that sometimes producers just don't fucking do. And sometimes the instrumental almost kind of suffers from it. And one thing that I find really positive about this is that the beat got a chance to breathe a little bit, right? The 808 took a step back. The kick was kind of knocking for a bit, and it actually was just able to breathe for a second. So I think that was solid. Again, something you could really like gloss over there as well. Um, so out of all that, Shining Star, I really like the structure just because it was like predictable in a good way. Like you were excited for like the wraparound. I want to say structure, but the melody's like a close second too. Either structure or melody. Um, Probably structure though in the grand scheme of things, just because you'd go back and listen to this again purely for the structure. So probably structure. So instrumental solid, definitely structure Shining Star. Um, so let's go into theme. Aesthetics. Again, Cole Gerard on art. Cole didn't go too crazy here. You didn't need to deep fry a photo like this. I definitely think a photo like this does wonders with minimal edits. And Cole went like the VHS kind of like home video route, and I think that was perfect for this. It's perfect for any kind of like old nostalgic childhood photo, but I definitely think this one benefited greatly from it, especially from the text at the bottom. I think the text at the bottom is like really solid. So again, cover on point, really solid choice, and I think Cole killed it. Um, So overall theme, How Can We Survive? Obviously the title is influenced by the vocal sample. But even through TDG's kind of like quotes here in the description and in the tweet caption, you can kind of tell that TDG is like almost already ready to write to this regardless. So if nobody hops on this, I could definitely see TDG spitting on this for sure. But there's a couple of ways this could really flow. You know what I mean? But it's mostly in like the very like dark trap direction. So I think TDG did a really good job on this. Very simple, very clean, and well done. Huge shout out to TDG. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow TDG on SoundCloud. Literally one follower away from 980, my friends. And of course, make sure you follow TDG on Twitter. They are 7 followers away from 160. Go show TDG some love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subaroonies, man. We're like 3 away, legit 3 away. So if you're not subbed, please go do so. And if you already are, dropping likes, dropping comments, checking out the uploads. You guys are amazing, and thank you for showing Music Mondays some love. So, and yeah, and again, we upload 2 times a week, man, every Thursday and Saturday. So go check out the channel. Go show these artists some love. But that was our first Patreon tonight. Huge shout out to TDG. Let's get it, baby. So up next, we got the homie Jordan Andrew, aka SLM. Now, Jordan has been fucking killing it in 2023. Everything from MMCJ to Dead Lighters. Very, very talented alternative vocalist and producer, but they are taking more of a producer angle these days. But they submitted a track titled No Matter What. Found a Prod Dead Lighters jam on my laptop from 2021 that was forgotten, so I wrote something for it. Well, okay. So, let's see what we got here, chat. I found this old jam from October of 2021 that was somehow never used for a song. Cover is a picture I took while driving. What the fuck? Holy shit. Wow. Okay. Let's get into this because I'm so curious on how this is about to sound. So let's go. Jordan Andrew, No Matter What. Oh man. Your guitar is righteous. That's what I'm saying. This is crazy. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay. So so simple, but like lots to dive into here. And Ryuki, what's good? Welcome on in. Happy Monday, my friend. So, man. All right. 2021 is kind of crazy. Like the fact that this is almost 2 years old is like holy shit. But you guys know the drill. Let's break this down. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of No Matter What. So man, this instrumental is a real easy one for me, to be honest with you. But let's start off with the mix though. Mix is great, nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Um, Melodies sit good. Drums are like very leveled and chill. I like the drum selection and sound selection overall. Um, a very crisp standard mix as far as the instrumental goes. I definitely think Deadlighters did a really good job with this for sure. Um, the shining star of the instrumental. I love the lo-fi drums. I feel like you could really like overlook the lo-fi drums, just because of how sick and like how calming the guitar is. So that's another like really good talking point. But it still doesn't beat out this guitar. This guitar is fucking crazy. Um, Something about a mellow yet like almost like an emotional guitar is crazy. Really, really crazy. And then you slap some like lo-fi kind of like chill drums behind it, it turns into something like this, and it's like, man. So yeah. Yeah, 100% this melody is easily the shining star, not even a question. Um, Not even a question. So let's talk vocals. Um, Again, a vocal mix is solid. I think Jordan went with like a relatively like basic style of mixing here, which I think is solid, especially for their vocals and style. But again, mix is really solid, crisp, clean, sits well in the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. One of those mixes that like it like blends in with the instrumental in a good way. Like, cause sometimes they'll be like fighting with the mix, and then sometimes it'll just intertwine. You know what I mean? And they'll just flow together real nicely. And I feel like this is one of those for sure. Um, so yeah, mix is solid. Writing, as far as the Shining Star goes, is definitely a strong point. Um, but I think the thing that put it over for me, to be completely honest with you, was the flow and cadence. It almost added that like laid back, late night drive effect with the guitar melody. Like that riff is just crazy. Like, and then the way that Jordan kind of like just took it and like really made their own kind of flow and cadence. It was something that just blended so well. Um, yeah, writing's a close second, man, but flow and cadence kind of top this for me, and definitely something that I'd go back to this song for sure. As far as like a real chill, laid back kind of vibe goes, but it's not like happy, relaxing. It's just very chill and laid back, and I think Jordan did this song some justice for sure. Well, the instrumental, I should say, but yeah. So instrumental solid, definitely the riff. For the Shining Star, vocal solid, definitely a flow and cadence. Let's talk theme here. So aesthetics. Um, I mean, for something that you took and you know slightly like edited yourself, again, these IRL shots are like undefeated. Like they're such a safe bet every time you wanna kind of like get a cover done, but you don't want to go like super crazy for art, or you don't feel like waiting on somebody, or you don't feel like doing it yourself. These kind of like IRL nostalgic kind of covers here are always such a safe bet. So I like this one a lot for sure. Just a good solid choice. The overall theme though is definitely something that you would need to go back and really dissect these kinds of lyrics, because I feel like Jordan let some of the more poetic side speak out here, and there's a lot here that is to be taken for sure. And I think again that speaks to its like replayability, because you can not only enjoy the track sonically, but you can go back and kind of like decipher the true meaning behind this kind of track. And this one's more, I wouldn't say like complex, but it's not face value. It's not like you're gonna hear this one time and you're gonna instantly blam the meaning like right in your head and you're like, wow, that's it. Not happening. Um so again, this one definitely requires a little bit more due diligence as far as that goes. And I think that makes it all the more special, to be honest with you. Um but with the poetic flows and the kind of like um wordplay and punchlines that we're used to from Jordan Andrew, I definitely think this is a massive step in a right direction for an instrumental that's almost 2 years old. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's pretty remarkable. And I think that's really dope that you went back and kind of like stomped this out real quick and was able to like put it out. So I like that aspect about this a lot. A real lot. So huge shout out to Jordan Andrew, aka SLM. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Jordan's brand new SoundCloud. They are literally 9 followers away from 70. Super talented artist and producer. Make sure you follow SLM on Twitter. Literally 4 away from 330. Also a great milestone. Make sure you go show SLM some love on the bird. And huge shout out to SLM, man. And huge shout out to all of our Music Mondays Patreons, man. Huge, huge shout out to TDG and SLM. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subscribers, man. We are 3 away. We're at 187. If you're not subbed and you're considering doing so, please do so, man. We upload 2 times a week. Underground tips and tricks, exclusive segments, full podcast episodes, a whole lot of good stuff available on the channel. So definitely go check out the channel and make sure you go show these artists some love. And if you're already subbed to the channel, we appreciate you and thank you so much for supporting Music Mondays, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, let's get it, baby. I believe we have one more Patreon for the night, and then we'll hop right back into the rest of the community submissions. So we got done with TDG, and I believe TDG, SLM, yep. Huge shout out to TDG and Jordan Andrew. Yeah, I believe the last one for the night is the homie King Mark. Okay. So this is gonna be good. Mark has had a really solid 2023 as far as quality goes, consistency, visuals. Mark's had like a really like steady year as far as 2023 goes. But Mark's a very, very talented alternative vocalist, and they submitted a track titled Rainy Day. Prod Ollie M. And I feel like we've probably reacted to something from Ollie and Mark before. Unless I'm faded and just like am wrong. But I feel like this is a producer that we've seen them work with for sure. So okay, and we got some lyrics too. Okay, Pog. That's good. That's good. All right. Yeah, so we got some exclusive unreleased King Mark here. Mix King Mark, cover King Mark. This one is gas. I like this cover a lot. These are like the highway shots that I'm always talking about, you know what I mean? Just like right on the highway and whatnot. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. But I like this a lot. Okay, so let's get into it. Exclusive, unreleased King Mark premiering on Music Mondays right now Rainy Day. What the fuck? Lately, the samples Mark has been using has been crazy, bro. Okay. Um, I like this one a lot, especially for like clocking in at 124. I definitely think this is um a really well put together track, to be honest. Okay. So, let's break this down because we have a couple things to talk about here. So, um we're talking about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Rainy Day. So, let's talk instrumental. So, as far as the mix goes, I like this mix a lot, especially when it comes to the drums. But nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Everything cuts through nicely. Um, Everything's real level too. Like no gripes with this instrumental mix at all. Um, I like the melody a lot, but these drums kind of like they kind of like sold it for me. To be honest with you, I really like these drums a lot. It added the bounce. They knocked pretty hard. They cut through vocals nicely. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the drums. I just like the drums a lot for sure, personally. Um, so I think Ollie did a really good job on those. So Shining Star for the instrumental, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. So Mark went with a more pitched effect here. Because Mark has been switching it up every once in a while, depending on what they really wanted to do, as far as mixing goes. And I think Mark has been doing a really good job when it comes to like expanding their mixing portfolio for themselves, right? Not that they're mixing for other artists, but I feel like Mark has just been mixing vocals more and more. That they're almost coming into their own like engineering kind of style, which I think is really cool. You know what I mean? Obviously there are like dedicated roles for engineers, and there are people that are like fully like invested in that, and then there's just some artists that you know they take it day by day and just kind of slowly learn the role. And I think Mark's been doing a really good job with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, as far as the vocal mix goes, great. It sits nice on the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Um, Nothing kind of like muddy or anything like that either. I definitely think it was a solid vocal mix for sure. Um, Shining Star. Now, a couple things I really like about this. So the flow and cadence is definitely up there. That might be number one. I'm not sure. Um, the hook is definitely up there, and the writing. I like the writing a lot, but the flow and cadence just like I feel like Mark completely slid on this and found like the perfect flow for this kind of instrumental. If I'm being honest with you, like yeah, like this flow and cadence is really up there for me. But the hook, the hook is also like very like replayable. It makes you want to come back to a track like this. So there's a couple of things here that I'm like, but I think flow and cadence kind of like, I don't know. I feel like flow and cadence kind of like really sell it over in the long run and really like make you want to go back to this for sure. Just because the hook is like so it's so bouncy and it just has that like very interesting flow. So I feel like the hook is up there. The hook is definitely up there. So um yeah. Yeah, probably the hook, to be honest with you. Definitely the hook. For sure. So the instrumental solid, definitely drums. Vocals solid, definitely the hook. Um let's talk theme. So aesthetics. We kind of know the drill with Mark's aesthetics as far as colors go, right? Um, but images, those could change from time to time, and we've seen Mark kind of really switch it up as far as like what they wanted to do for covers. But one thing that's like super consistent across all their art is the color scheme, right? And in the overall color palette, I think Mark does a really good job with. And this one really shows it just because it's such like a it's not like a basic cover, but it's very like a standard image, but Mark's colors and like edits like really make this one pop. So I like this choice a lot. And of course, rainy day, it's raining. I mean, come on, streets, soaked. Well done. So, overall theme, um, kind of an interesting one, right? But I mean, we have Mark, um, really kind of diving into their more personal parts of their emotions, and really kind of reflecting on the past, but also kind of there's like this sense of like maturity here. There's like this sense of like recognizing that like shit is kind of whack with like certain people or like certain situations. So I feel like there's almost like a renaissance here almost where Mark's like looking at themselves from like a outside perspective and really like kind of like recognizing the patterns of people and recognizing like the good from the bad and like what they like from the good and in the bad, you know what I mean? So it's a very like progressive yet like personal kind of track. And I think Mark did a really good job um packaging it in a way where it's not so like um like hard to understand, you know what I mean? Like you can see where Mark's coming from in this track, and I think Mark did a really good job with that. So with that said, huge shout out to King Mark. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Mark on SoundCloud. Mark is literally 4 follows away from 180, man. And of course, make sure you go follow Mark on Twitter. Mark is literally 6 follows away from 300. Only 6. Both really, really good milestones. So make sure you go show Mark some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subaroonies on the main channel. I think we're about 3 away, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff is available on the channel. So make sure you go show the channel and these artists some love. Let's get it, baby. I believe that was our last Patreon of the night. Want to double check here and make sure. Yes, 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 yes. Indeed, it was. Okay, okay, okay. So, um, let's hop into our community submissions for the night, my friends. So, um, our first community submission of the night, the Just Imagines. Now it's been a couple weeks since we've heard from this duo, um, but a really, really um talented alternative rock duo for sure. And their caption reads, "Really impressed by your pod. One of the coolest ideas we have seen, in the execution is well done. Here is our latest hypnotic rocker. Hope you enjoy hypnotic rocker." Okay, we got the wordplay going on here. Okay, okay, okay. Let's get it. So, the Just Imagine showing some love. Much love to you guys. And they submitted a track titled Mad Mike. Let's see what we got here. Very curious. Very, very curious. Okay, 2023. Um, very new, for sure. Um, let's dive into this. Okay, okay, okay. The Just Imagine's Mad Mike. Let's get into it. Oh shit. This instrumental is crazy. What a crazy long outro. This is sick. Okay, that was definitely fucking crazy. All right. I like this a lot. This was bringing like a very like grunge kind of like super alternative rock kind of sound, and it went really hard. I like this a lot for sure. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Mad Mike. So, this theme's kind of interesting to be honest with you. But let's break this down. So let's talk instrumental. Man, so this mix is fucking stellar, especially when you consider the vocals. They fit like super fucking nice on this instrumental, so I like the mix a lot. And again, as many of you know, like we always talk about on the show all the time, when it comes to mixing, right, and certain tracks like these where there's like a lot going on and there's a lot of theatrical kind of instruments and vocals, it can be a real big hit or miss when it comes to mixing, right? It can be super easy process or it can just be a fucking pain in the ass. But when it comes to this mix in particular, I definitely think the Imagines did a really, really good job when it comes to this mix. Definitely. Um, so instrumental mix definitely solid, nothing clashing too overbearing, very crisp. Everything really has its own like wide space for sure, like for sure. Um, Shining Star. There's a couple of things I really like about this. Drums definitely like the guitar and the melodies. Definitely like the solos. Definitely like um. But clocking in at 349, one thing that really sold me was the structure. The structure wasn't like too crazy, but it kept progressing the song and it made it feel not repetitive at all. And especially with like the outro and like how the outro was constructed, I definitely feel like um the structure kind of like trumps all and really like takes over when it comes to like the parts that shine about this track, you know what I mean? As far as the instrumental goes, so definitely a shining star um has got to be structure, got to be structure for sure. But let's talk vocals. So vocals, man. Mix is fucking crazy. It's bringing such a like a classic alternative grunge kind of sound, especially even with the vocals, right? But vocals sit nice, nothing clashing to overbearing at all. I definitely think vocals have such like a strong part in this song. Like they're so prominent in here, but even like towards the end with the outro, I feel like everything was just so well balanced, so well balanced. But the mix itself, though, fucking stellar. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing at all. Everything cuts through nicely. Everything fits nicely alongside it. No gripes with the mix whatsoever, as far as the vocals go. So Shining Star with the vocals, man. There's a couple of things that I noted here. Again, I like the mix a lot. Um, I'm not particularly crazy on um, you know, like sometimes these tracks can come out like very experimental. This one did not. This one sounded very well constructed and very unique. You know what I mean? I feel like that's such a problem with a lot of these different kinds of groups and bands and duos that make alternative rock and different styles of rock. They try to be too experimental. I feel like this is very unique, more so experimental. And I feel like the Just Imagines really did a good job when it comes to like concreting their sounds, like especially when it comes to adding in smaller things like synths here or there, but keeping that like grunge alt rock kind of vibe is like damn, okay. Okay. So that's one thing I really like about these vocals like a lot. It's like familiar but it's new, it's fresh. It's like classic rock with like a very modern twist. So I like that a lot. So with that said, writing is definitely a plus, but I think the thing that kind of put this over for me was the delivery. The delivery combined with the mix and then the flowing cadence was also like right behind it, but the delivery combined with the mix is like wow. It really kind of put it over for me. I definitely think they did a really good job when it comes to making this track feel like new and fresh, but it felt familiar as well. So delivery definitely. I love the delivery here for sure. Um so Shining Star with the instrumental, um definitely structure. Shining Star with the vocals, definitely delivery. Let's talk theme. So we have a very interesting cover here. Um, Much like a couple tracks that we heard tonight, I feel like this one could use another deep dive. You know what I mean? Like you really could, you know, dive like super deep into something like this and really kind of like dissect the theme here. But I think this was more so on the first listen, very much just taking in the whole concept of this new unique kind of alternative rock sound here. Um so when it comes to the theme and more specifically the aesthetics, this cover is like what the fuck? So it like this cover makes you want to go back and re-listen to this track, but in more so finer detail. And also, as far as like the cover itself goes, I like the simplicity of this a lot, and the fact that it kind of looks like kind of like one of those like watercolor paintings, but it still has like the really solid text, and it almost has like some kind of like hacker vibe almost, or like there's something going on here with this art that I think there's more underneath the hood for sure. There definitely is. Definitely. This is definitely one of those songs that would benefit from a music video or even a lyric video. Just because there's a story here to be told for sure that most people probably wouldn't get on their first listen, and they would just appreciate how well this song was constructed and presented to them. Um, so yeah, aesthetics on point for sure. Definitely like the cover choice. The artist did a really good job. Um, So overall theme, again, one of those themes that you have to go back and re-wrap back around and really try to dissect this, and I think that it just speaks volumes on the songwriting and um how well constructed this was. You know what I mean? There's definitely like a hidden story here, or even just an alternative, maybe subliminal kind of meaning to this track as well. So I would definitely like to see the Just Imagines continue. And even like the last track that we reacted to, they kind of took like a different approach. Like I think the Just Imagines have such a unique approach to everything they do, whether it be sound, aesthetics, or even just like their overall like song presentation makes you kind of think, but their sound will keep you attracted. So there's more than meets the eye here for sure. So with that said, huge shout out to the Just Imagines. Thank you so much for your submission, my friends. Much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow them on Twitter. They are literally approaching 1.8 on Twitter. So make sure you go show them some love on the Bird app, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Subaroonies on the main channel. So if you haven't subbed to the main channel, what are you doing? We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Underground tips and tricks, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So definitely go check out the channel and go show it some love. Filter, what's good? Welcome on in, my friend. I hope you're well. Happy motherfucking Monday. First Music Mondays stream appearance. Let's get it, baby. We love that. So again, huge shout out to the Just Imagines. That was a trip. That was definitely a fucking trip. It's 2 a.m. for me currently. I thought I'd say hi. Welcome on in, my friend. I'm glad you made it. I'll take note of that for sure. 2 a.m. I got you. Guessing I haven't been played yet. You have not, my friend. You have not. You have not. But you should be coming up soon though. So, but the VOD is always up if you want to check it in the morning as well. But again, huge shout out to the Just Imagines. Up next, we got the homie Ab-Sono. Very talented alternative producer. Multi-genre producer, if you will, definitely. Totally a producer that really takes pride in really consistently releasing instrumentals. Ab-Sono definitely is very 50-50, but also really takes care of their platform as far as being a producer goes, right? They aren't always about placements and chasing smaller things and things like that. Ab-Sono definitely cares about their voice as a producer and really wants to build their brand and platform through releasing instrumentals as well. So I think Ab-Sono is definitely a part of an elite crew. You know what I mean? For sure. So they submitted a track titled "Yeah." Yeah. So let's see what we got here. Exclusive unreleased Absono. 28 days ago. So not super old, but not super brand new. And I got you filtered. No worries, my friend. I see you. No worries. But let's get into this. I'm very curious about this waveform. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit. Okay, so Absono exclusive unreleased track premiering on Music Mondays right now. Yeah. Wow. Holy fuck. Dude, when this comes back in, it's gonna be fucking crazy. Oh, man. Wow. Really nailed it. Damn, man. Holy shit. Okay. I can hear some wild. No, yeah, I agree, Filter. I totally agree. That was a trip. That mix is fucking stellar as well, by the way. That mix was like fucking perfect. Um, okay. So, you guys know the drill. Let's break this one down. No vocals here, so we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Yeah. So, um, fuck. All right. So, like, there's so much to dissect here. Like, a lot to dissect for sure. So, um, let's talk mix. Mix is fucking stellar. Again, like I said, like this mix was like from the first like 5 seconds of this, I knew this mix was gonna be crazy. But again, Absono as a producer has always had like really consistent um mixes and things like that. So I definitely feel like this is a pretty standard kind of mix for Absono, but this one in particular like fucking knocks. Like I could see somebody destroying this. So yeah, I definitely think this is one of the more like crispier Absono mixes when it comes to more specifically the drums, but really everything, to be honest with you. Um but again, nothing clashing too overbearing at all. Um, everything cuts through really nicely. Everything kind of has its own space. No gripes at all, especially with kind of like how erratic that melody was and that synth. It was, I feel like everything was tied down real nicely. That's a fact. So the mix was solid. So Shining Star, there's so much I love about this, man. I love the structure. I love that Epsono gave this beat some room to fucking breathe. Um, I like the drum selection in particular. I love the melody. It gave it almost like a demonic kind of like evil villain kind of feel for sure. So I like the melody a lot. Um, but the drum patterns in particular were like very like they're just really well done. I like the rolls a lot, and I feel like the drums just had like the perfect amount of mud, like especially like the 808, like everything just kind of hit properly. And it gave that bounce, like I said. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and say drums, man. Structure's like a close second though, but the drums like knock just right, and the drum selection was like really well done. I feel like one or two wrong sounds on this, and then it fucking sounds like a completely different instrumental. So definitely the drums for sure. So drums, Shining Star. Let's talk theme. Um, aesthetics, of course, unreleased Epsono, so we just have the Epsono logo here, which it just defaults to for private tracks if we don't upload a cover. So again, obviously not a perma cover, but also just a kind of a convenient cover for Epsono, so that way you don't have some like weird default kind of cover and it's just the Epsono logo. So I suppose it works out, right? Um, but overall theme, yeah, definitely not too much to go on here. I feel like an artist could further this instrumental a lot in terms of a theme and really like bring out a more kind of like high energy, almost like dark trap kind of vibe for sure. But I'd like to see Absono release this on an instrumental project or even like a single for sure, definitely. With that said, huge shout out to Absono. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Absono on SoundCloud. They are literally 9 away from 40, and of course, make sure you follow Absono on Twitter. They are 10 followers away from 370. Go show them some love on the bird. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every motherfucking episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 sub-roonies on the main channel. So make sure you go sub to the main channel and go show these artists some love. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, whole lot of good stuff's available over there. Go show these guys and the channel some love. Let's get it, baby. Zom, I have a suggestion for a future endeavor. Do pop-up music feedback review streams occasionally so people can submit their music in real time, maybe a Discord server. I definitely have thought about that. That's a great suggestion. Yeah, I've been talking to the staff about a couple of other side segments that I want them to really get involved in. Right now, we're looking to get a few more hands on deck, and you'll see a lot of that stuff really start coming to light. We have a really consistent schedule right now, so I want to make sure we nail that down before we introduce more segments. But I'm definitely open to things like that for sure. That's definitely something that we've not only discussed but are going to figure out a way to really work things like that in. Definitely. So a huge shout out to Epsono. We left off with Epsono. Up next, we got the homie Patterns, aka Lil Wet Wet, also an artist that has been fucking destroying 2023. Wet man, what's there to not say? What? Come on, like super talented alternative artist submitted a track titled "Impossible Feat" with Ozzy Bug. So, let's see what we got here. We got all the plats here. Let's take our pick. Let's go SoundCloud. Okay, so brand new Lil Wet Wet, aka Patterns, with Ozzy Bug, Fraud Don't Trust Lando. Impossible Feat. Recorded at the Dollhouse. Mixed and mastered by Lil Wet Wet and Ozzy Bug. Okay. Lando. And Lando's definitely a prod that we've heard Wet Wet work with before. A couple times, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get into it. Lil Wet Wet, Impossible Feat. Damn, man. Wait, coming through with another fucking heater like that? Holy shit. Couple things I really like about this. I really, really like about this. This is increasingly becoming one of the coolest duos to see really what they come up with, to be honest with you. Wet Wet and Ozzy are pretty undefeated right now, to be honest. So, let's break this down. We're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Impossible Feat. So, man, let's talk. Let's talk instrumental first. So, Don't Trust Lando is definitely a prod we've seen Wet Wet work with before, especially here on the show. So we're pretty familiar with their work, and again, I think this is another duo that's pretty undefeated, right? Um, I just think that like Wet Wet, like they just go so good on these kind of like fast paced, hard knocking alternative pop style instrumentals. And Lando is bringing like a whole different spin on that kind of sound, right? Because that sound has come a long way over the course of the last like 3 or 4 years or so, and yeah, I definitely think that this is a really underrated duo. So, with that said, let's talk mix. Always like a really solid mix when it comes to Lando. Like that's kind of like no surprise, but this one in particular really fucking knocks. Again, everything cuts through vocals really nicely. Um, Drums are just so fucking solid here, nice and level. The melody is so clear as well. Like, and I like the sound selection for the melody as well. Like, there are a lot of like small things about this instrumental that really put it over the top for me. But as far as the mix goes, excellent. Um, Kind of again, not really a shocker, but you always got to mention it, right? You always got to mention it. So mix is solid as far as the instrumental goes, but let's talk Shining Star. Um, like I said, I'm big on these drums, right? But uh I feel like that's such a cop out because they're so fast paced and bouncy that like yeah, they're super fucking sick, but like the melody is really something that kind of carries this in the background as well. Very rememberable and very like something that you like just go back to is this melody. Like I could totally see it like playing in your head like over and over again type shit. Um it just has that like cute dreamlike kind of like vibe mixed with like these hard hitting well selected drums. So I feel like the combo of the two is like really nice, but the melody is like really well constructed. So I'm gonna go ahead and say the melody. Just for this one, just because the melody was like really well done. So shouts out Lando. Um so yeah, instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Let's talk vocals here. Vocal mix is great for both Lil Wet Wet and Ozzy for sure. I definitely think they both did a really good job when it comes to their mix. Again, not really a shocker for Lil Wet Wet. I definitely think that's pretty standard for them. And Ozzy Bug has come like such a long way when it comes to the very first track that we heard them create and they submitted, and um like to see these two kind of come to this point as a duo, I think is really sick. Like really fucking cool to see. But when it comes down to the mix, I feel like they've gotten consistent in that aspect too when they're working together. Because you'll see Lil Wet Wet kind of have variations in their mix, much like a few artists that we see here on Music Mondays, right? The King Marks, the Blood Cats, so many artists that we've seen kind of take their mixes to different levels and roads and things like that. So, not really a shocker, but again, I definitely think this is a really solid mix for the both of them, and nothing clashing too overbearing either. Again, drums cut through extremely nicely, and they sat super nice as well. Like the drums are just like fuck, like yeah, no. So the overall mix is just really insane, really insane, and that's something you definitely got to appreciate. But when it comes to the vocals in particular and the way that they sit on the instrumental, well done, definitely well done. Um, Shining Star. Hmm. So I like this duo a lot, and I like both of their writing. I have always been a fan of both of their writing for sure, but this track, I feel like their flows and their cadences, and more specifically the delivery, was like very special. Especially when you consider the whole like duo of Lil Wet Wet and Ozzy. I just feel like these two, when they get on point, like in this track, it's like the sky's the limit. Like you could really go above and beyond for these two. So I love the writing for sure. Again, I love the writing for both of them. But flow and cadence in this particular track on this particular instrumental was 5 out of 5 for me. Like it was really stellar. And again, I want to see more from this duo, and I'm sure we will see more from this duo, right? I definitely think it's a very underrated duo, but I like how they're slowly progressing together, right? Because like the Wet Wet we get with Ozzy isn't the same Wet Wet that we get when it's just Wet Wet or Wet Wet with Bedhead. So there's a couple of variations here that are at play, and I think this duo is very underrated, and the flow and cadence in this one definitely shows it. So, flow and cadence, Shining Star, definitely. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely in melody. Vocal solid, definitely flow and cadence for both of them. Um, Theme. So again, you guys know how I feel about these IRL covers, man. Like they always go fucking crazy. And we got Filter in the chat. Filter's another one that has taken a liking to the IRL kind of nostalgic covers, and I think they go extremely well, and you can always be extremely safe with those, right? Um Even just adding like a slight edit or even just taking a screenshot from a video. I feel like they can be such a safe choice, but they always come out like really fucking solid. So aesthetics totally on point. I love this one. Great choice. Especially for like the club vibe here for sure. Definitely looks like a fucking like just like a bit of a club vibe, you know what I mean? So definitely. So overall theme, Impossible Feat. This one definitely you would have to spin back again and kind of like fully dissect these lyrics when it comes to these two as a duo and what this track kind of means to both of them, right? At surface level, it could be not that deep, and then again, we could really ask Wet Wet and Ozzy their kind of perspectives and we could get a whole different story here. So this is one I'd like to know the story behind and really kind of really like take like a deep dive in with like a lyric video or like a music video. Like I could totally see this one getting a visual. Um, but either way, well fucking done. Really, really well done. Underrated duo. And huge shout out to Lil Wet Wet. Thank you for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on SoundCloud. Literally 4 away from 600. What the fuck? 4 away? That's a great milestone. And make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. Literally 1 away from 340. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 sub-roonies. We are 3 away, my friends. And of course, man, we upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love. And if you already have been, dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good stuff. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. And thank you, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just scroll through my mom's Facebook albums and edit the old baby pics to me. It works. It works. It just totally lines up for that like nostalgia trip. But it's also like it just looks sick either way. It just makes the song like I don't know, just like slightly more powerful. So great choice for sure. Definitely a great choice. But up next, we have the homie Entra. Now it's been a while since we heard from Entra. Probably since like the beginning of the year. It's definitely been a while. But an alternative vocalist. They submitted a track titled Proud of Me. And I believe this made SoundCloud Sunday Volume 91 this previous Sunday yesterday. So I'm really excited for this. Really, really excited for this. So let's get into it. Entra, Proud of Me. Let's go.
Is this all just for someone else? Am I who I used to be? Or am I made from what you want from me? I'm pieced together. The things you want I can see. Try to get better. Will you be? Will you be? Will you be out of me?
Holy fuck.
Past months, learning importance. I stay unsupportive. And the feeling of having my way. I know it could be something that I learned the hard way. But if I take the time to figure out my flaws, maybe I'll realize that everybody's stuck online. And I've been searching for my own purpose, so I can one day figure this out. Feeling worthless, I was tracked out of my eyes. And I'll keep doing what I wanna do. Days spent giving in to all of you. Well, it's over now. I'll be something. Just wait a minute. I'll be something.
Fuck.
Will you be out of me? Will you be out of me? Will you be? Will you be? No. I don't care what you want.
What the fuck? Holy shit, bro. Filter your comedy. Um, that was crazy. That was actually fucking crazy. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Okay. Um, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Um, all right. I'm not even. We just need to dive right into this. We need to break this down for sure. So we're gonna talk about three things here. Uh, we're gonna talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of "Proud of Me." So, let's talk instrumental. This is a massively theatric, well thought out instrumental. Much like Filter said in the chat, I like the sound design a lot, and I definitely agree. Like, very cool, very very fucking cool. Um, but the mix is crazy. Like, the mix is so well done. Nothing clashing at all. Nothing too overbearing at all. Everything's super level. Drums fucking knock. Vocals sit nice on top of the instrumental. No gripes whatsoever. Like, not even slightly. Like, the mix is fucking crazy. Um, so the mix is stellar. That's just a fact. Throughout the whole track, the mix is yes, absolutely. Shining Star for the instrumental. There are so many elements at play here for this instrumental. It'd be so hard to kind of single one out and be like, oh, this particular kind of sound or synth or drum or it'd be so hard to just point out just the melody because the structure was like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, nah, it's definitely a structure. It's definitely a structure. It's not even a question. Um, it was one of those structures that like left you on the edge of your seat, but you knew what was gonna happen, but it always kind of surprised you as well. Um, so I definitely think the structure was like really up there for sure. So structure is very solid. Definitely a shining star when it comes to the instrumental. Um, let's talk vocals here. Again, vocal mix, fucking insane. Nothing clashing to overbearing. I love the delivery here. I literally don't think this could have sat better on this instrumental. Um, so much passion in these vocals. Uh, the passion is just overflowing in this track. Sometimes in certain tracks you can just hear the passion, right? Um, and the honesty and the emotion. And this is one of those tracks for me where I was just knew instantly that I was like, wow, this is totally all there. Um, so the mix is fucking wonderful. Again, nothing clashes to overbearing at all. Shining star when it comes to the vocals. Um, again, I love the delivery a lot. I feel like the delivery had a lot of emotion and passion behind it. But I think the hook is what really sold me, man. Like the hook and like the bridges and like how again back to the structure, everything was structured here. It just made the hook like so much more impactful and like yeah, it was the core of this song and 100% why people will come back to this for sure. So the hook was wonderful. So instrumental solid, definitely structure. Vocals are solid, definitely the fucking hook. Flow and cadence and delivery are a close second. Let's talk theme. So, aesthetics. Now, you guys, wait, can we actually look at cover art now? Is that a thing? Oh my god. I've been waiting for this feature forever. You guys know how long I've been sitting on the show zooming in on these covers, man? Oh my god. All right, sidebar, but shit. I didn't know that was part of the UI update. But yeah, you guys know how I feel about um these kind of like foliage kind of nature-esque neighborhood kind of covers, slightly nostalgic as well. This one's super simple, take a real simple approach on some like neighborhood photo, like take it accidentally, but still looks kind of sick. And you know, you have the slight edits with like the grain, and like it just looks like these covers go so good for alternative kinds of tracks, but even more so the emotional ones, just because they're so simple. Something about them just clicks with these kinds of tracks, much like the IRL covers do. So I personally have always been a huge fan of these. Some listeners might not be, but as an artist and as a listener, these are some of my favorites for sure. So well done on the cover, definitely. So aesthetics are on point. I mean, Proud of Me was just like such a no-brainer kind of title, right? Just because the hook was so passionate, but again, like such a track of like pure emotion and like really, really Entra just like putting like their whole like emotions on the line for this kind of track. It was so melodic and like very soft and honest, but so aggressive and like felt the like raw emotion of this track. Like this one, I know that this is one of the ones where you record it, you finish it, and it feels so fucking good to finally get something like this out. Because one, you probably worked your ass off for it, but for two, it feels good to get these kinds of emotions out on certain kinds of tracks, right? And I definitely think Entra did a really good job conveying their emotions, but also not compromising any kind of sound whatsoever, and let the music and the vocals do their talking, not just one or the other. They did a really good job. Well done. Huge shout out to Entra. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow them on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow them on the Bird app. They are literally 7 away from 40. Go show them some love on Twitter, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 Subaroonies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists and the channel some love, my friends. And huge shout out to anybody that already has. Dropping likes, dropping comments. Even if you just view our videos, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Thank you, my friends. We are just about halfway through the show. There's Filter right there. So what we will do is we'll take our break right about now, and we'll leave off with PK. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll continue off where we left with the community submissions. So I'm going to need all you guys to get up, go get a snack, go get a drink, go do whatever you need to do right quick. And Music Mondays, episode 130, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 130. Hope you're well. Hope you're chilling. Welcome on in. So, we're on the later half of the show. We're going to get through the rest of the community submission and see what we have in store. So, we left off with the homie PK Estonia, otherwise known as PK. A very, very talented alternative vocalist from Estonia. Submitted their official music video for Remedy. Love to hear your thoughts about the first single we put out together with Rexius Records after signing a deal back in January. You're doing good things here, my friend. Man, huge shout out to PK. Much love, my friend. Much love. Thank you for the kind words. Let's see what we got here with PK. Now, we haven't heard the song or the visuals, so we're definitely gonna dive in. Let's go 1080, full screen, volumes up, PK Remedy official music video. Let's go. This was fucking cooked. Well fucking done. Holy shit. That was like a movie. I didn't even think that PK's music videos could get any crazier, but this was definitely a fucking movie. Like, definitely a fucking movie. Wow. Got all the credits in the description as well. Special thanks, Claustrophobia Escape Room. That's fire. The lyrics in description as well. Damn. Well fucking done. Huh. Okay, much to discuss here. Much to discuss here. Promo, it's good. I hope you're well. I'm sending you a vid on Core. This is me this morning, 8 a.m., 3 a.m. for me right now. I got you, my friend. If I don't hear from you, I assume you fell asleep. No worries. No worries. But let's break this one down. So we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the video for Remedy instead of the theme. So let's talk instrumental. So this was a very like heavier kind of style than we're used to for PK. Like, this is definitely one where I didn't know what to expect, but this is definitely more of like a, again, kind of like a heavier sound, if you will. And I think it fits well, to be honest with you. We're more used to PK on the whole alternative pop, alternative rock sound, but this is definitely leaning heavy towards alternative rock. more so on the other end of the scale as well. But I think the instrumental choice fit PK like really well, and this producer did it like an amazing job, to be honest with you. So I'm big on this instrumental choice, really big, because you got to go outside the box every once in a while, and I definitely think PK. I don't want to say they like took a risk, right? But I definitely think PK did really well with something slightly out of their element. So again, the instrumental choice very solid. Mix is great, nothing clashing to overbearing at all. I like the drums, I like the structure, I like the riffs, I like the guitar overall. Everything's really well done when it comes to the instrumental, 100%. Um, Shining Star, a couple of things, but the guitar is like so prominent. It is so prominent that like it'd be hard to say anything but the guitar. Although the structure again is definitely a close second, the guitar definitely takes the cake for me. So the melody is definitely a shining star. It brings that very much like heavier kind of sound that I think PK was looking for sure. So that was a big core of this instrumental. Um so yeah, definitely the melody for sure. But let's talk vocals. So couple things that I really like about these vocals, but before we get into that, mix is great. PK is an artist when it comes to their vocals. I've definitely never had any gripes with their vocal mix. I definitely feel like their vocal mix brings a very like raw kind of style, but it's very like it's very crisp and like well rounded. There's a couple of artists I can think of that really take their mixing very like bare bones, but go like the very clean and crisp kind of route, and PK is definitely one of those artists. um so again, a vocal mix stellar, nothing clashing to overbearing. I definitely think the vocals sit really nicely on this instrumental, especially being like a very like non-processed kind of instrumental, right? These are all like live kind of instruments. These are all very much like a different style of instrumental than we're used to from PK. But again, like PK kind of really did well. I really felt like they were at home with this kind of instrumental. Um, so yeah, um, really like a solid mix, to be honest with you. Um, so again, vocal mix itself very solid. Shining Star when it comes to the vocals. Mm, Again, couple of things. I like the hook for its like kind of like raw aggressiveness, but at the same time, um the delivery and like the flow and cadence on the verses in particular were like they were like such a crutch for this song. Because when you have these more like simple kind of hooks, not that this hook was like super simple and bare bones, but it usually leaves a lot more room for your verses to go like super fucking hard, right? Like I think your verses can go 10 times as hard if your hook is like relatively laid back as far as lyrics go. So I definitely feel like PK like nailed it when it comes to really having like a good mix of like this could easily go crazy at a show or like a club, but you can appreciate the lyricism as well. So there's a good mix there. But delivery and flow and cadence kind of take the cake for me again, especially when you consider the verses. Um so instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the delivery and flow and cadence. Let's talk visual. So we've reacted to I think like two or three PK music videos. And this is by far the most ambitious one when it comes to editing and filming. We've seen PK in pretty chill environments and chill kind of like IRL scenarios and beaches and sort of a different light, but this one's very much on the darker side from what we're normally used to. And again, I think PK fits well with this. And being an artist that is like already comfortable in front of the camera, right? They had no problem kind of like getting loose here. And I think that's what like really made this visual like worth it, because if PK got on here filming and they looked kind of like not believable, especially for a song about like needing a remedy and like you're almost feeling like you're going crazy, right? Um this is very believable to me. Like PK doesn't look like dishonest, like not that you need to like truly live and breathe every single one of your lyrics. But what I'm saying is when it comes to visuals and like the concepts and the directions and the scenes you want to go for, um like you're a big part of that. And if you're not fully like immersed in it and believing it and playing the role, sometimes the visuals can like really tank. This one in particular, I feel like PK did a really good job like actually being believable and like actually committing to the song, if you will. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I really like about this is PK doesn't look uncomfortable or unnatural, if you will. So that takes me to post processing, right? Because for a video that was filmed in only one location, you're pretty limited to like, you know, how many like angles and scenes and scenarios you could really have. So when it comes to something like this, the post production is going to be like super key, right? Because you're like, fuck, I, have such a limited amount of footage. How can we make this look insane? This editor did a really, really good job. A lot of the simple kind of transitions and a lot of the filters, and I think making it like half black and white, half colored was also a good touch. And then you have like these glitch effects here and just the smaller things that like really put this over the edge for like um for not only a music video but a music video about this in particular, right? Because this was filmed in an escape room, so it kind of has like the ambiance of like a the fuck is it called, um solitary confinement. And I think again like the editing kind of brought out a lot of that like darkness of this. So I definitely feel like it just really like it just really like went over the edge as far as like what it needed to do. Like if you were to put too much editing over this and you just kind of like went like way overboard, I don't think it would have looked as sick. But between PK being kind of like supernatural and the post production being like really on point, it made up for a really good fucking video. Like a really, really good video. So well done, my friend, and huge shout out to PK. Thank you so much for the submission. Much, much love. Make sure you follow and subscribe to PK on YouTube. They are literally 2 subs away from 550. And of course, make sure you follow PK on Twitter. They're literally 10 away from 30. PK is a very, very talented artist. Go show up some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel. If you haven't already, we are 3 Subaroonies away from 190. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available over there on the main channel. So go show these artists on the main channel some love. And if you already have been and you check out our uploads every week, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's get it. So, up next, we got the homie Braden. Now, Braden will be doing some work with Music Mondays relatively soon. So definitely keep your eyes peeled as far as what we have going on with Braden. This is a very, very talented alternative vocalist submitting a track titled Let Her Go. So this one, oh man, this one probably, I hope it doesn't tug at the heartstrings. It's probably going to tug at the heartstrings. What do you guys think? Probably will. It probably will. And we got A.O. Trevor on the track as well. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, Filter, I think you might be down the bottom. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. One of the last. But I'm not sure though. So you could be like right after this next batch. But let's get into it. Hi, Braden. Let her go. Let's go.
We've been talking for weeks, why you leave me behind?
Damn. Damn, 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 damn. Okay. That was fucking cooked. I like that duo. I like that duo a lot, to be honest with you. Um, so let's break this down, chat. So, we're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Let Her Go. So, um, definitely not as emotional as I thought it was gonna be. It touches on emotions in like a different way than I was really anticipating. Interesting sample use. Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. Um, so man, we're gonna talk about three things. Talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Let Her Go. So, instrumental. Man, again, the sample was pretty well utilized. I like that about it a lot. But again, I think the mix was really fucking solid. You know, kind of a standard with Brayden at this point. Not really shocked that this has like a really crisp and like hard hitting mix, especially when it comes to the drums. I feel like the drums were really well done here. Um, so yeah, drums all day for sure. But the overall mix was just really well done. And again, you always got to point it out because, like I said, that's kind of a standard when it comes to Brayden. So not really a shocker, but you always got to point it out, right? So, man, Shining Star, the instrumental. I like the drums, man. I really like the fucking drums. Like, more so like the hard hitting aspect of them and how they're mixed. And the drum selection itself were just really on point, especially when you combine it with the sample. And then the structure, like, what, clocking in at 220? Yeah, so definitely like a good mix, but I feel like the drums were really like the factor that like put it over for me. Um so yeah, drums all day. More specifically, drum selection. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Um, Now again, a vocal mix, stellar, crisp, solid. Nothing too out of the ordinary for Brayden here. Um, you know, sometimes Brayden will um have different types of mixes or kind of um like to like switch it up every once in a while. But this is definitely up to the Braden standard for sure. And again, very tight, very well rounded, super clean, super level. Everything sits nicely on the instrumental. That's like the main thing you want to look for. And of course, as usual, Braden definitely um, has vocals that sit really nice on here for sure. Especially with everything like punching through nicely. Yeah, all day for sure. Um, Vocals, Shining Star. So I love the writing here. I feel like Brayden was like very honest with his writing. Delivery was also a big plus. I feel like Brayden's delivery is always very honest as well. There's a couple artists that come to mind that have that like real raw emotional delivery. Brayden's definitely one of them. Um, I like the verses though. Like I feel like the verses here like really like expand on this track and really kind of like you get to step inside Brayden's mind here and it really starts to explain the title "Let Her Go." Because it's like somewhat a heartbreak song, but it's more so on the fast pace side of things, and where you're like, you know, you should be doing better type of shit. So the fact that writing and lyrical substance kind of like explain that like relatively quickly, I thought that was sick. And the listener is like able to like really fully be in Braden's shoes like right off the rip. So again, I think that aspect is like really beneficial about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and say writing, just because I'm not only a fan of it, but it was super easy to like again be inside of like Braden's mind. and really like understand where they're coming from. So definitely writing. Instrumental solid. Definitely drums. Vocal solid. Definitely writing. Overall theme. So you guys know how I feel about Braden's art. Super simple, super consistent. Braden was talking about how, sometimes they like to switch up their art and sometimes they do other shit, and I just feel like Braden does a really good job at um kind of like keeping their aesthetics like super clean, because again, like there's no rule, right? There's no rule, like you don't need to have your aesthetics like as consistent as Braden, but when you find something you do like, it looks pretty sick if you're able to like transition that to each song. And again, there's no rule towards that at all. Like you could literally fucking you could go crazy with any kind of cover art you wanted to, depending on the track, right? But that's just one thing I noticed about Braden, and I definitely think they do a good job when it comes to like their single track kind of selection. I definitely like it a lot. It just fits, you know what I mean? And like with covers like these, like there's no like stereotype. Like you can't really guess what you're about to listen to. It's just like something like aesthetically pleasing, right? So I think that's what's like another plus about that. So again, good choice. Overall theme, let her go. It's about letting someone go, and more so in the aspect again that you know that you should be doing better for yourself, right? And you know that a person is really shitty. But again, you might have a lot of love for said person. Um, and this could apply to anything, family, friends, relationships, anything, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people just like don't they don't care about you how you care about them, right? And I think realizing that is like a really powerful thing. And once you like fully kind of like swallow that pill, I think you start to become more confident in yourself and more like you just kind of like know your self-worth. And this song is somewhat of an ode to that, right? I definitely think it's very relatable for most people to kind of encounter somebody in their life that like you really care about and you really fuck with, you know what I mean? Again, it could be a friend, it could be a relationship, it could be somebody in your fucking family. But again, it's pretty normal for, unfortunately, for you to encounter people that, you might have a lot of love for and they don't have as much for you. Um, you know, and again, like you could kind of twist it and turn it into any way that it really resonates for you. Because I'm sure how this resonates for Braden doesn't really like apply for everybody. But again, you could like understand the substance and the storytelling. So well done. Huge shout out to Braden. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you follow Braden on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Braden on Twitter. They are literally 4 followers away, man. 4 followers away from 30. Make sure you go show Braden some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 Subaroonies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, all that good stuff's available over there. So make sure you go show some love to the Music Mondays channel and these artists. And of course, if you have been showing love to the Music Mondays YouTube channel, we appreciate you. Everybody's showing love, dropping likes, dropping comments, all that good stuff. Much, much love to you. Yeah, I got you, bro. I'll definitely check your message after the show. I'm up in 3 songs. Let's get it, baby. Huge shout out to Braden. Again, that's another artist that has been really like going super hard with their career, to be honest with you, in 2023. So huge shouts out to Braden. But let's continue on. Up next, we got the homie Mac 2 times. Now, Mac, yeah, again, another artist that has been having a really stellar 2023. Mac kind of threw us for a loop a couple times, to be honest with you. A couple tracks that really surprised me, a couple of genre blending experiences. I was like, holy shit. But a very, very talented vocalist. Submitted a track titled "Fuck It." I'm with it. I'm with it. Let's pop it open a new tab. Let's see what we got. Okay. We got the Rick and Morty cover. Why the fuck not? I mean, this is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, want to go simple? Throw a little parental advisory on there. You're fucking good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, plus it has that like Mac 2 times kind of flavor to it. So, let's get into it. Mac 2 times. Fuck it.
Yeah, go. Fuck it, let's do it then. Go. I got a beam on the Glock, yeah. My Drake got a coolin' kid, ayy. Text me through face, get mobbed, ayy. Bullets gon' make them dance, ayy. If I see 12 behind me, yeah. Do the dash in the Benz. Go. Fuck it, let's do it then. 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 Love her when she shake that ass on the floor. I'm telling shorty, come give me her throat. Her nigga ain't know that his girl was a hoe, so I sent her back when she done with my bro. Passed her around like it was a game. Don't be over here cause you not in my lane. When I blow up, don't hop on the train. I know you doing this shit for the fame. Don't be someone else, that shit is so lame. I know I got some blessings that's coming, knowing that my life is destined to change. I need that mansion that's out in LA, so to get to the top, gotta pave my way. Yeah, I gotta pave my way. I got a dream for this motherfucking music. I need hella Benjis and I'ma get to it. Focus on yourself, don't worry what I'm doing. Niggas act tough, gonna who think you fooling. If you got a dream, better go and pursue it. But girl, without obstacles, better get to it. Speaking some Spanish to a broad, she think I'm fluent. Taking a trip to Greece, look at the ruins. Fuck it, let's do it then. Go. Fuck it, let's do it then. Go. Fuck it, let's do it then. Go. Fuck it, let's do it then. Yeah. Fuck it, let's do it then. Yeah. Fuck it, let's do it then.
What an interesting concept.
Fuck it, let's do it then. Ay, I got a beam on the Glock, yeah. My Drake got a coolin' kid. Ay, text me through face, get mobbed. Ay, bullets gon' make them dance. Ay, if I see 12 behind me, yeah. Do the dash in the Benz. Fuck it, let's do it then. 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 Fuck it, let's do it then.
Bitch. Damn. So that was kind of like a, almost like a turn up party track from Mac 2 times, man. Like it's been a while. Like I think what's sick, and I think one of the coolest things about this track in particular, is Mac was like one of the first artists that we saw from the show like really start to improve themselves, right? But now we're starting to see Mac kind of push themselves in like a new direction and try different instrumentals and try new flows and try to like get out of the box, and I think that's really fucking sick. So let's break this down. We're gonna talk about 3 things: talk about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme. Oh fuck it. So let's start with the instrumental, obviously. So the mix was great. Again, even with that synth, it was a really clean mix. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sat nicely. Overall, a very solid, well-rounded mix. Definitely. Kind of like on the whole, slight like alternative hip hop, alternative trap, a little bit of rage style there. A couple of different blends of stuff. But as far as the Shining Star goes, there's a couple of things that I did like about this. I liked the bounciness of the drums. I feel like the drums were very crucial here, especially with like how dreamlike and almost ambient the melodies were. I feel like the drums were super crucial, super fucking crucial. So drums were solid here, very very solid. Um, hmm. I kind of do want to say drums. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of do want to say drums. Structure's definitely a close second as well. Because the beat had like plenty of room to breathe, so I like that a lot. Yeah, yeah, we'll go ahead and say drums. To be honest with you, we'll go ahead and say drums as Shining Star for sure, especially drum selection. When you factor in the drum selection, it's definitely drums. Let's talk vocals though. So the vocals are interesting here. Um, a vocal mix is definitely decent. Um, Mac sounds very interesting on this kind of track. Um, but all in all, vocals definitely sit nicely. Definitely has like the raw, um, crispy approach for sure. And overall, I think Mac sounds pretty decent on this. Um, not not too many gripes with the vocal mix at all, to be honest with you. Um, it's definitely Mac 2 times standard, and I definitely feel like Mac was like pushing themselves like out of their element. So that's another factor you got to think about as well. But vocals, Shining Star. Mm, so the hook again, kind of like taking like the club, kind of like turn up party direction, but there was definitely some like substance to these verses as well. So I'm kind of torn. And then the flow and cadence was also kind of decent too. So mm, there's a couple of things I really like about this, but I think I might go ahead and say writing just because the verses kind of capitalize on the party club style kind of hook. So I definitely feel like verses kind of picked up and like filled in the gaps for sure. So definitely writing, definitely. Um, because you had a story to go on there, so that was definitely a plus. Instrumental solid, definitely drums. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. So when it comes to the theme, again, aesthetics. Um, we have a Rick and Morty style kind of cover with like a different kind of like foreground and background, and then like track title above, parental advisory down below. I definitely think this has like the Mac 2 times touch for me, and I definitely think that's solid. You know what I mean? Like as long as it has the Mac 2 times touch, that's really all that matters. So I definitely think Mac did a really good job, and always does, to be honest with you. When it comes to their cover art, for sure, for sure. Um, so overall theme, fuck it. I mean, it's kind of like one of those YOLO kind of tracks. Like, fuck it, let's do it then. You know what I mean? Like, it's quite literally in the hook. And Mac definitely like didn't have any like super strong intentions when it comes to this track. This is one of those tracks you like write in like a day and record it in like another day. You know what I mean? And I think it came out good for being one of those kind of like um one of those tracks that like push you in like a new direction. You know what I mean? I think Mac did a really good job choosing this instrumental and slowly inching out and trying to like branch out and try new stuff and like try to improve their craft. And I think that's what's like really to behold here. So well done. Huge shout out to Mac 2 times. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Mac on SoundCloud. They are literally 4 away from 30. And of course, make sure you follow Mac on Twitter. They are 1 away from 120 or 11 from 130. Make sure you go show Mac 2 times some love, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 summer earnings. We are 3 away. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good stuff available on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. If you already have, we see you and we thank you. Much love. So, man, oh man, oh man. Huge shout out to Mac 2 times. But this next artist is pretty legendary when it comes to Music Mondays. And it's been a while since they've submitted. They've been on a bit of a hiatus, but they are now currently back. Very talented alternative artist Bloodcat is in the building. Damn. That's pretty crazy to say. So, without further ado, they submitted a track titled Jackie Chan's. Let's pop this open a new tab and see what we got here. Oh man, Bloodcat Jackie Chan. Oh shit, this is gonna be good. I'm very excited for this. The return of Bloodcat. Let's get into it. Bloodcat, Jackie Chan's. Let's go.
She gotta be a next off of a beat. She cannot handle bars. She coast to coast, man. Be to take a toast and wait and kick me out of Louis V. My name up on a bin star. Can I bear a star? I'm off a bean, I break my teeth. I'm about to eat the Cuban link. Down the tank. Feel the sing. Smile for the camera, make a swing. Cuban on me, and I eat the link. Like foot by the foot. You got your loop by the book. Show what she cute, make it look. What did I do with it? Gotta meet you weed, you a heretic. Got what you need, it's embarrassing. You are the pack that your parents did. I'm on the pack of the scary shit. My bitch be shit like a parachute. My bitch the black to my berry. You got a hatchet to bury. Hey, hold you back, I don't carry it. The love in my heart is my carry-on. I used to trap at the Erico. My daughter was named Erica. I don't know the name of Erica. I can't remember her name. I used to live in my shade.
That's crazy.
I'm sick of you niggas, I'm out. Sick of the stickers about. Richer the nigga with clout. Sick of you niggas, I'm sick of you niggas, I'm out. I put a fuck in the church. Still put a stick in my mouth. Still put a stick in my mouth. Bitch, and you stepping in my Jackie Chan. They call me Lil Stacky. Stacky Pants. Call me Lil Shaggy. Got baggy in my pants. Stepping with my bag. Nigga, baggy on the pants. I'm in my zone. She wanna link like blue text. She wanna beam in a new name. She wanna sing, but she too sex. I wanna sleep, I need two beds. She wanna link like blue text. She wanna beam in a new neck. She wanna sing, but she too sex. I wanna sing like two beds. She's my California kid. She a see-through bitch. She a California queen. You a shy nine, but a LA3. And you a 70 and a 613. Cause my dream's too big, I need a California kid. She a see-through bitch. She a California queen. Shy nine, but a LA3. Fingers to the sky, if you know what I mean. Cause my dream's too big, I need a California kid. She a see-through bitch. She a California queen. Shy nine, but a LA3. Fingers to the sky, if you know what I mean. Cause my dream's too big, need a California king. She a see-through bitch, she a California queen. Shy nine, but a LA3. Fingers to the sky, if you know what I mean.
That was fucking gas. So that was definitely recorded while Bloodcat was on hiatus. So that was really fucking sick. That was really fucking sick. Okay, and I like this beat went so well with this too. Okay, so let's break this down. We're talking about three things. Talk about the instrumentals, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Jackie Chan's. So, man, oh man, let's talk instrumental. Kind of a laid back, almost West Coast kind of vibe here. Slight R&B vibe, if you will. Definitely has a little bit of like a classical alternative hip hop vibe. More modern kind of sound though. But overall, I definitely see why Bloodcat would pick this. Right, this is a very Bloodcat type instrumental. And Bloodcat completely wiped the floor with it. You know what I mean? Completely wiped the floor with it. So, I think it went really well. Instrumental mix is really solid, especially for all the drums and kind of like the perks and the smaller things in this instrumental. I feel like the mix was on point. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Um, Everything flows nicely. Structure was solid. Overall, the mix was really nice. Really, really simple, bare bones instrumental that is really polished. Definitely. Shiny Star, definitely the drums. The drums were such a crucial part of this. Kept up the bounce, kept up the flow. I like the drum selection itself when it comes to sounds. Yeah, no gripes whatsoever, especially with the instrumental and the instrumental choice. I feel like Bloodcat did a really good job when it comes to the instrumental choice. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Let's talk vocals. Now, of course, this is recorded on hiatus, so we can't be too picky about the mix, right? When it comes to vocals, because only so much you can do there. Um, so with that said, how this mix was structured and how these vocals were structured was really solid. For what there was to work with, very fucking solid. Um, the writing on this though was really fucking crazy. Like the fact that you were able to pick out some of the punchlines and the bars here were like it was just a no-brainer. It was like what the fuck? Like wow. So yeah, I'm absolutely big on this. Very very big on this. Um I think writing was a no-brainer. I think Hook was a close second. I could see Bloodcat coming back to remix this as well. Um for sure when they come back. So I definitely think that this one like was filled with like such stellar writing that it'd be hard to not say writing. So definitely fucking writing for sure. Um so instrumental solid, definitely drums. I like the choice. Vocals are solid, definitely the writing. I like the hook as well. Um let's talk theme. So aesthetics. We have the standard like Bloodcat kind of um like super like organic hand painted style that we know Bloodcat for, right? Bloodcat has had a couple of these covers in the past where um they've just been so fucking fire. Like so fire. Especially for this one called Jackie Chan's. Like this one's excellent. Like excellent. Really like a solid choice and kind of fits the aesthetic and the overall vibe, if I'm being honest with you. Um so yeah, I like the cover choice a lot. Um Overall theme. Jackie Chan's. Definitely a very solid display of lyricism, and there was a lot of lyrical substance here. Um, it definitely it brings that like California lifestyle kind of vibe with a couple of the punchlines and lyrics that I could pick out here. But then again, like this is just such a wonderful showcase of writing and lyricism that it'd be hard to kind of like nail it down to one theme. But the hook is definitely close enough to a theme where throughout the hook and the verses you kind of get that California Beverly Hills kind of ambition, if you will, and almost lifestyle as well. So Bloodcat's just a very vivid writer as well, and they've always done such a good job at really making you feel like you're in their shoes. So that's one thing you always got to take note of. But well done, my friend. A huge shout out to Bloodcat. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you follow Bloodcat on Spotify, and of course, make sure you follow Bloodcat on Twitter. They are literally 6 followers away from 10. Their account is brand new. Go show Bloodcat some love. They're about to be going crazy for the rest of the year. Huge shout out to Bloodcat. Thank you so much for the submission. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. So make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube um, if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 sub-roonies. We are only 3 away, my friends. So make sure you go check out the channel and go show these artists some loves. Let's get it, baby. So, up next we have the homie Filter. So, again, another artist that has been having a wonderful 2023, if I'm being completely honest with you. Super talented alternative vocalist and producer submitted a track titled Brain Rot. So, exclusive unreleased track, by the way. Let's see what we got here from the homie Filter. And we got lyrics and description. So, wait, this art is actually crazy. Okay. Alrighty, my friends, let's hop right into this. So, exclusive, unreleased Filter, premiering right now on Music Mondays. Brain Rot.
I got people on my brains, they just won't go away. Filling up your void and what happened today. Saying I'm way too bad for my fate. I don't even want to talk, it's okay. Yeah, I got this sex sometimes, it's not your fault. Yeah, I get that it's hard sometimes, it's not my fault. Yeah, now I'm spending every day of my week just sitting and thinking about what we could have been. But all these what it could have, shouldas isn't gonna fix nothing. I think this might be the end. People on my brains, they just won't go away. Filling up your void and what happened today. Saying I'm way too bad for my fate. I don't even wanna talk, it's okay. Die, self-pity, and fake love. Overdoing all your emotions for clout. My head's been spinning under this gray cloud. I should just shut the fuck up. Now I got people on my brain, they just don't go away. Telling me that I'm a driver's suspect. Saying I'm way too bad for my fate. Pulling right on my string, for goodness sake.
Holy fuck. Damn. Okay. Okay. Holy shit. What the fuck? Okay. This was fucking cooked. Really cooked. Couple things. But we're gonna break this down. So, we're gonna talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Brain Rot. So, let's talk instrumental. Because fuck me. This instrumental was actually insane. Let's start off with the mix, per usual. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing whatsoever. Filter's one of those artists that we've come to realize that they have a very consistent mix when it comes to a lot of their not only instrumentals but their vocals as well. To be honest with you, now that I think about it, but strictly speaking on the instrumental, they've always had really hard hitting, stellar mixes. So not really a shocker here that this instrumental has like a very tight, well rounded mix. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. I like the way vocals sit as well. Drums knock very hard. Nothing that like jumped out at me that I have a gripe with at all. I definitely feel like again this is a very standard filter crisp mix. So you can always expect it, but you always just want to point it out as well. But a shining star with the instrumental. I love these drums a lot, and I love the melody a lot, but the structure is crazy, and even the outro is such a nice little touch to a track like this. I'm gonna go ahead and say structure, just because the way this is structured out and lined up, the beat has plenty of room to breathe and kind of be itself, and then on top of it, like you have this outro that's like it starts doing glitches and chops, and it's just yeah, no, like everything came together for this instrumental, and the structure was a big part of it, a big part of it. So definitely the structure. Let's talk vocals though. So when it comes to vocals, I've always been a fan of Filter's vocals, especially with the way that they record, they deliver, and just the overall mix. So again, nothing clashing to overbearing whatsoever. Definitely sit nicely on the instrumental. Everything cuts through nicely. Um, Again, delivery is like a big thing here, and I think Filter does a really good job recording and actually performing these vocals. So delivery is a huge part of this for sure. But the vocal mix is definitely fucking solid. Definitely. Um so instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocals, I want to say hook. This hook is very powerful. This is a very powerful hook. This is a very like it's 50% emotional, and like the other half is like very much like it's so like serious, and like you can tell it's very passionate. Um so I'm big on this hook. Really big on this hook. And then again, the verses are really well constructed as well, especially with like what lyrics we have in between. Like very stellar. Very stellar. I'm kind of tied on the hook and just writing overall, but I really want to say the hook, to be honest with you. I really want to say the hook for sure. So, hmm, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the hook just because of how well it was delivered and performed. Like the hook was just crazy. So instrumental solid, definitely a structure. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. And I love that you put lyrics in the description as well. So let's talk theme. And let's talk aesthetics. So Filter has been taking this other approach with these kind of almost um abstract, kind of like interesting styles of paintings. And I like this a lot. Like I feel like this is a different direction. Because like you could go 50-50, right? Like you could go in the nostalgic direction, you know, kind of use like IRL um or just even regular pictures. But this one kind of brings a different element to what we've been used to from Filter. And I think the last track from last week had a similar kind of style as well. So I'm liking this like different abstract, almost painting aesthetic. Like it fits. It definitely fits. And I just like the choice overall. Um so overall theme, right? Brain rot. I think a relatively simple kind of theme, right? But it's also a very complex one at the same time. Um just because even these bars right here just kind of like explain it all, right? Like people in your head, they just won't go away. Like there's a lot of ways that you could take that, right? And shit that people say to you and words and scenarios and PTSD and so many things that kind of like stick with your head. And that like those lines are like metaphors for so many things. So this is one of those tracks that a lot of people could relate to in so many different ways. So many different ways. But then on top of it, I feel like Filter was able to really get a lot off their chest through this song and really was able to like tell a proper story and really explain kind of like how they're feeling in the moment. And again, if a first time listener were to take this a different way, I definitely think that would kind of be a good thing if they were able to like relate to their experience through this track. Just because sometimes artists have the ability to like put feelings into words that like most average people don't. And this is definitely one of those tracks for me where a first time listener could hear a couple of these bars and a couple of these lines and they're going to be like, "Wow, that's like I resonate with that," or "That's me," or and then if they don't, right? Even if they don't necessarily relate to it, you're going to appreciate the sonic parts of this. You're going to appreciate the fucking sounds, right? Like you're going to appreciate the hard hitting structure and the drums and the melody. So like, you know what I mean? I feel like there's something here for everybody, for sure. So with that said, a huge shout out to Filter. Thank you so much for letting us premiere that. And make sure you follow Filter on SoundCloud. Literally one away from 220. And of course, make sure you follow Filter on Twitter. They are literally 8 away from 30. Go get them 30, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190, motherfucking 90 Subarunis. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some love. Thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed. Very, very, it's just always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, my friend. You're very welcome, my friend. Let's fucking get it. So, yeah. Shit. That was such a trip. Well done, my friend. So up next, we would have the homie TDG and SLM, but they are Music Mondays patrons, so we already worked through their submissions. So, huge shout out to TDG and SLM, but up next, we got the homie Just Was. Hope it isn't too late to share the new Just Was video. It is absolutely not too late. Let's get into it. Gonna submit the real album material next week? Oh, I'm down, Filter. I am down, my friend. Absolutely down. So it just was a very, very talented alternative hip hop artist, super talented writer. Submitted their track titled "Mad People in Danger," and I believe it is a music video as well. So let's pop this open a new tab and see what we got here, chat. Damn, I like the aspect ratio on this too. A little 720. Okay. Was the goat. Let's get it, baby. Okay, so let's full screen this, max quality. Just Was, Mad People in Danger, official music video. Let's go.
Divine stranger, meet Jamaica 7 years ago today. You wanna wager, talking like a sergeant major. Ron DeSantis dressed as Darth Vader, man in a laser. Denver Broncos, I'd hate to play ya. I'm in the playoffs, it would amaze ya. Pressure blazer, apply fundamental theory on display of a simple makeup moving out the way. Smoking on the sweetest flavors, the time it takes today. Might cancel plans and see you later. What you need?
Okay.
Switching weed, I tried to tell you what it was and who's the culprit in between. With family, there's complications, you can't cut them off. off and leave, no matter all the bigotry and Andrew Tate that they retweet. Sitting on a bench, Johnny hit him with the cess, now it's dense, exhale the breath. A simple let's go do drugs. Yellow lighter in his pocket, he's had it for a couple months. Flavor in his ear, Kid Cudi sound debonair. Just made a web with all his thoughts that's passing by, but never fear. It was quiet, he won't go home. Feeling felicity on the late night roam. Sick feeling, thinking about what we're taught and shown. Corporate marketing, the kids, they try to get them young. Chopping dreams down with the blade like Michonne. And some folks answer to it by grabbing their gun.
Damn. What the fuck? We just got hit with the realest shit ever in the most chill way ever. Holy shit. Waz just casually dropped all those bars on us while just fucking rapping behind the most peaceful instrumental. What the fuck? Holy shit, that was great. That was great. Well done. Let's break this down. So, we're gonna talk about the instrumental, we'll talk about vocals, and we'll talk about the video as well. So, man, oh man, let's talk instrumental. So, super chill vibes on this instrumental, kind of like a summertime, lo-fi hip-hop, laid back kind of vibe, to be honest with you. Like, especially with the visual, like the visual makes it for me. It just settles in that like summertime vibe, just that much easier, right? Yeah, let's talk mix. Mix is great. I mean, we have this very kind of chill melody. Drums are well done. There's not much to go super crazy on here. So the mix was nice and level and definitely nice and loud. And nothing was kind of fighting for space. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Definitely was a solid mix when it comes to the instrumental. And I just like the instrumental choice to begin with. So well done. Really well done. So instrumental Shining Star's got to be the melody. It's bringing like the whole kind of chill, laid back summer barbecue, smoking with the homies, drinking by the fire kind of vibes. You know what I mean? So I like that a lot. And the melody kind of set the stage for that. Really big canvas for it. So definitely the melody was the Shining Star. So let's talk vocals. Vocals. All right, so when it comes to vocals, I've always been a fan of Waz's mix for sure. Just because like it's super raw, but it's very like crisp and super clean, and like there hasn't been one track where they've had kind of like vocals that don't fit or like a mix that's kind of weird or anything like that. Like their mix is super fucking consistent across all tracks, no matter what kind of instrumental or vibe at all. So that's one thing to note here for sure. But again, very crisp, very clean, sits on top of the instrumental very well, and I think Waz just kind of flowed on this excellently. So Shining Star when it comes to vocals, flowing cadence is a close second, but the writing was great. The punchlines, the honesty, the kind of like truth telling mixed with like opinions, and it like even like the summertime vibe all mixed with that. Definitely the writing for sure. Definitely the writing. It's not even a question. Not even a question. So instrumental solid. Definitely the motherfucking melody. Vocal solid. Definitely the writing. So let's talk a bit about the visual here. Really well edited. Really fucking well edited. Whoever edited this did a really good job. Super simple, super well done. And one thing, this isn't the first visual we've seen from Waz, but this is definitely the most like laid back kind of visual as well. I suppose the ones that we have seen were pretty laid back, but this one in particular has like a super summertime vibe, and like it goes from like outside to backyard to studio. And I think those three scenes had like so much like really like solid potential. And how everything got used here was fucking well done. Like so well done, man. Like this kind of visual proves you don't need much. You literally just need your phone, maybe an extra pair of hands to film you, and you can go to like any location and get like 3 or 4 different shots like this, and then go back to the crib, get the studio shots, and you're good to go. Like even like the slight time lapses and like the transitions were really, really fucking well done. This visual like really might be my favorite Woz visual for sure. Definitely, definitely. So I think the thing that fully topped it off though was the lyrics. Having lyrics in the video as well was like really solid. You don't see a lot of people do this a lot. It's still kind of rare. And even then, when sometimes people do it, it's not full lyrics. But Woz definitely like went above and beyond here, especially with like the outro and intro. So well fucking done. And I think this was self-edited. So huge shout out to Woz. But if it wasn't, huge shout out to whoever edited this because it went fucking really dumb. So yeah. With that said, a huge shout out to Just Woz. Make sure you go sub to Wild Out by Nature. They are literally 7 subs away from 40. And of course, make sure you follow Woz on Twitter. They are literally approaching 1.2 on the Bird app. So make sure you go show them some love on Twitter. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subroonies on the main channel. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday, man. You guys know the motherfucking drill. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff available on the main channel. So make sure you go show these artists on the main channel some love. And if you already have been, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays. And thank you, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, up next would be the homie King Mark. But since King Mark is a Music Mondays Patreon, we already reacted to their submission. Huge shout out to King Mark for being a Music Mondays Patreon. And a huge shout out to the rest of the Music Mondays Patreons. So, up next, we got the homie Offspring Mysterious. Now, Offspring, again, has had a really solid 2023, especially when it comes to their YouTube content. Very talented. Alternative producer, editor, writer, designer, multi-talented artist, most definitely. And they submitted a YouTube upload using life as your instrument. Let's see what Offspring Mysterious has for us this week on Music Mondays. This will be a nice edit here. I'm very curious to see what Offspring has been up to. This shot is already crazy. What are we looking at here? This is nuts. This is actually nuts. Okay. Full screen this. Let's get into it. Dude, this video is actually fucking comedy. What? Okay, if Offspring ends up working meme culture into their videos, it's over. Offspring's, wait a second. He's like, wait a second, hold up. Hold up. Can't believe he couldn't break it. The guy's a fucking bitch. What the fuck? No way. Offspring's like, hold on, I got this. We about to sample the fuck out of it. Ready? No fucking way, dude. No fucking way, bro. This was the perfect edit. What the fuck? Well done. Well fucking done, bro. What? What? No, man. What? How old was that song? I was cooking on a beat and couldn't find the perfect fit. Holy shit. No way. Yeah, see? So that was an Offspring classic right there. But Offspring was able to kind of incorporate like current meme culture and really make a new edit out of this, which I think was like super fucking sick. Like really sick, to be honest with you. That was fucking awesome. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the instrumental and we're gonna talk about the edit as well. So, the instrumental was great. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing. Offspring usually has really solid, like leveled out mixes, so that's kind of like a no brainer here. But we always got to point it out as well. The sound selection was great. Structure for what we heard was solid. We definitely get like a shorter version of each track through these edits, but I think that's like still sick because we have the edit as well. So we kind of get like the whole gist of like the older parts of Offspring's library in the short 2 to 3 4 minute segments. So I think that's sick. But Shining Star here, definitely the drums. Melody's a close second, but the drums for sure, just because it was part of the meme as well. But definitely the drums. Definitely the fucking drums for sure. This was comedy. This was like such a like an actual great concept. So as far as the edit goes, if Offspring incorporates more meme culture into their edits and their uploads, this is gonna be hilarious. Like, and like even just incorporating like the older tracks is so cool. It's like, man, that is genius. Like truly genius. So it's like, fuck, man. Well done. I feel like Shining Star here was like the fact that Offspring even came up with this concept. Like this concept is honestly the Shining Star. Like this is one of the more like funny and clever Offspring edits we've seen yet, for sure. Using life as your instrument is also a fucking hilarious title. Like, fuck, dude. Offspring is actually fucking comedy for this. This is great. This is definitely one of my favorite Offspring uploads this year, especially the birthday one and this one are like, fuck. Well done, Offspring. Well fucking done, my friend. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring Mysterious. Make sure you go sub to Offspring Mysterious. They are literally 5 away from 120 on their main YouTube channel. And of course, make sure you follow Offspring Mysterious on Twitter. They are 1 follower away from 830. Go show Offspring some love on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. Approaching 190 Subaronies. We upload every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff's available on the main channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the main channel some love. And of course, if you already have been, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays. And thank you, my friends. Thank you. We see you and we appreciate it. But I believe we only have 2 left, and one of them does not follow Music Mondays on Twitter. So, Melly Claw, feel free to drop us a follow and resubmit, and we'll be happy to react to your submission next week on the Music Mondays podcast. For those of you that don't know, of course, we don't charge for submissions. We don't charge for any of our playlists. We don't charge for any of our interviews. We never have. We never will. And the only thing that we do is that you're following the platform before you submit your track. To not only pay respect to everybody else that also follows the platform, but to also just help spread our word and spread our message of Music Mondays. So, huge shout out to Offspring in our last submission of the night, the homie Cage Mind, a first time submitting artist actually. This is my first song ever. Looking forward to see what you think if you do check it out. Oh, we're checking it out. Believe me, we're checking it out. Cage Mind, Too High, first time submitting artist. So we're going to go in raw. Of course, we have no idea what to expect at all. So let's keep it open mind and see what we got here. Cage Mind, Too High. Let's get into it.
Come on, this is where
Okay, Flux.
Girl, I get high. Trust, I just ride till I get high, so I don't die. I know I look fly. Nike kicks flare on the side. Girl, are you down to die? Cause I'm down to fucking ride till you motherfucking ride.
Whoa, is that the flux capacitor?
Flux killed that, bro. Much to discuss here. Huge shout out to Cage Mind, man. It takes a lot of guts to fucking submit your first song, man. Well done. Well done. This is my first song ever. Looking forward to see what you think if you do check it out. You know, I love that you went and submitted this. I think that's like super fucking tippable. I think that's like I said, it takes a lot of guts to be able to submit to a lot of these regular shows, right? And many of our regular submitting artists are very aware that we're not here to ever tear anybody down or give them negative feedback or 130 episodes and we haven't done that once yet. Very rare that I'll go in on somebody's drop, especially on their very first song, nonetheless, right? Our goal is to always give you guys tips and tricks and things you might want to improve on the next time you go back in the studio, right? That's what our purpose is. So, with that said, let's break this down. Talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, talk about vocals, talk about the overall theme of Too High. So, instrumental, Prod Flux, because I recognize the tag. Huge shout out to Flux, man. This is a very well constructed instrumental. I love the structure. Mix is great, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Drum selection is nice. I like the bass selection as well. All in all, a very like well constructed, simple Flux instrumental. Flux is very talented prod anyway, but this one in particular, I like the simplicity of a lot. Shining Star, I like the structure. Sound selection is a close second, and the drums are a close second, but structure all day for sure. I love what Flux did to this, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Let's talk vocals. So again, this is their first track, right? So let's take all this with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Because they're learning. This is a new artist. This is somebody who's going to go back to the studio and try to improve. You know what I mean? So we don't want to give them the wrong advice. So when it comes to the mix, that would be the one main thing I would start to improve on. Find somebody in Misfit Click or any of your mutuals that you can get around to start playing with your vocals or even learn engineering yourself and try to mix yourself as well. And I think with a very solid mix, you'll start coming into your style a lot more easier for sure. And even just the act of recording as well is just going to make your life 10 times easier. So the more you create, the easier it's going to be. So yeah, when it comes to the mix, it's a new mix, but for what the mix is, it's definitely not horrible for a first track. You know what I mean? It's definitely not. So that would be the one thing I would say with the mix is find a mutual or even yourself that, start playing around with plugins, start playing around with mixing tutorials, or have one of your homies or mutuals kind of start playing around with your vocals and see what you like, you know what I mean? Because right now is the time to experiment. So I would definitely take the mix back to the lab and see what you can improve on for sure, or see if somebody else is down to improve on them as well. But mix is solid, you know what I mean? For a first track, it's solid. When it comes to vocals themselves, though, I definitely, again, would refer back to the mix, right? I almost felt like the vocals were like ducking under the instrumental, which could just be a simple matter of switching where the audio files are in your DAW. You know what I mean? You there's a lot of specific things that go into certain ways of making music and how that relates to what you like as an artist, because you could like shit a certain way, but it won't be the same process as Joe Schmo. So like, don't really listen for any rules. Listen for just tips and tricks and way that you can improve yourself. So again, when it comes to vocals and the whole shining star, when it comes to this, I like the structure of the vocals. I mean, the fact that this song is clocking in at 217 and, you know, start to finish had verses and had lyrics. That's like a really good fucking start. You know what I mean? Because people put out songs and it's, you know, a hook or just a verse. And this is like a really great start for like where you want to be. You know what I mean? It really is. It's a really good start. So definitely a structure when it comes to vocals. When it comes to the instrumental, definitely a structure there as well. So let's talk theme. So cover's great. I like the Misfit Click logo and then the kind of gradient shadow little deal we have going on here. Simple, but very effective. Very effective. And of course, repping the squad, right? So I like that. Overall theme too high, right? There's a lot of like wordplay and a lot of kind of metaphors and things that you could dig out of this track. But again, this is a starter track, right? This is the track that kicks it all off. You know what I mean? So from here, I would just say continue to have fun. Have fun, impress yourself, try to make yourself happy. Don't listen to anybody negative. And even if they're fucking negative, there's something you can take from it, right? Maybe if somebody calls you, you know, you're dog shit and you're this, and this, and your vocals are quiet. You know, you can move all the garbage out the way and be like, you know what? Maybe my vocals are quiet. You know what I mean? It's all about how people say it. But sometimes there's truth in negativity as well. But for the most part, don't listen to any negative motherfuckers. Keep posting your music. Keep submitting to the show. We'll be happy to play it. And keep promoting yourself and just have fun. You know what I mean? Have fun. Don't expect shit out of this and make music with your crew and enjoy yourself, my friend. Thank you for the submission and much love. Make sure you follow Caged Mind on SoundCloud. They are literally 10 away from 20 followers. And of course, make sure you follow Caged Mind on Twitter. They are literally 7 away from 220. So make sure you go show them some love on the bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 190 subroonies on the main channel. Make sure you go check out the channel, show these artists some love. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, all that good stuff's available over there. So go show the channel some love, my friends. And if you have been, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So, man, oh man, oh man. That concludes submissions and reactions for episode 130. Huge shout out to everybody that came through, showed love tonight. Huge shout out to everybody that submitted. All of our Music Mondays Patreons, King Mark, Cole Gerard, TDG, SLM, Blank Dot, everybody else. Like, you guys are amazing. Thank you. And huge shout out to the community that submitted tonight. The Just Imagines, Prod Up Sono, Lil Wet Wet, Entra, PK, Braden, Mac 2 times, Bloodcat, Filter, TDG, SLM, Just Was, King Mark, Offspring, and Caged Mind. Thank you guys so much for the submissions to episode 130. And if you just came through, show love, hung out, chat, you guys are amazing as well. Thank you. We're going to say our goodbyes. We're going to talk about what's coming up for Music Mondays over the course of the next week. We're going to talk about submissions for next week's show. And we're just going to kick it for a second. So, again, a huge shout out to everybody that came through and kicked it in the chat. Entra, Filter, Ryuki, Owen, thank you guys so much for hanging out and chilling with us and hanging out for episode 130. So, with that said, my friends, submissions will be open for next week's episode 131, tomorrow on Twitter. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, All Music Mondays. Make sure you follow us on all socials, man. Wherever you use socials, we're there. Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. You name it, we're there. Tumblr. All right. So make sure you go follow us, man. And like I said, submissions open tomorrow, Tuesday, the 18th, July 18th. So if you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open. If you're watching this live, submissions open tomorrow. So keep your eyes out. And again, in case you missed a monthly May edition, Feature Friday, Workshop Wednesday, Underground Classics, Behind the Merch. All of our monthly content resumes this week, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll be announcing a new staff member along with opening up recruiting again as well. So keep your eyes peeled for a brand new flyer. Working on some stream upgrades as well. So lots of really good stuff over the course of the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned. And again, make sure you follow All Music Mondays on all platforms. Wherever you use socials, we are there, my friends. So go show us some love. You can stream All Music Mondays on all audio platforms at anchor.fm/All Music Mondays. The link is also in the description if you're looking to take us on the go. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays Patreon if you have not already. Huge shout out to every single one of our Patrons, man. You guys are fucking amazing, and I love every single one of you. We have so much planned for you guys, and expect a couple of updates coming your way as well for that. And again, make sure you follow me at Zom Slays on all platforms. Just type in Zom Slays, you'll find me. And yeah, again, huge shout out to you guys. Huge shout out to the Music Mondays community. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you so much. Keep your eyes peeled. We're taking this shit one day at a time because we're gonna do it very, very properly. And we just want this platform to go right, and I'm gonna make sure of it. So with that said, that concludes episode 130 of the Music Mondays podcast. Huge shout out to all you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing love. We'll see you guys next week for episode 131, and you can catch me live here every day, twitch.tv/ZomPlays. And your boy, Zom Slays. We'll see you next week. Later.